Eleven Oaks Farms raises Wagyu beef and heritage breed pork right here in Newville, Pennsylvania. Our low-stress practices and carefully designed diets produce some of the finest meats you will ever experience. We also offer a selection of quality Angus beef, pork, chicken, seasonings, sauces, pantry items, and much more. Shop online at 11oaksfarms.com. Visit us in-store at 34 North Corporation Street in Newville or call 717-360-8249.
It's time for Mechanicsburg High School Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com and now on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and follow Wildcat Athletics at Go Mechanicsburg on YouTube, available on all smart devices. Wildcat Athletics is presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville, Bobby Ray Hall Automotive Group, your neighborhood Chick-fil-A at Shepherdstown Crossing, Grocery Outlet Bargain Market, Lawnscapes Inc., Mechanicsburg Area Recreation, Members First Federal Credit Union, Operation Wildcat, OSS Health, now with 2 locations on the West Shore, RBC Wealth Management and the Turnbridge Group, Renewed Hearing Solutions, Sheets, Snappers Bar and Grill, Seth Gardner State Farm, Walters and Galloway Attorneys at Law, West Shore Home, the Wildcat Foundation, Wolf Brewing Company, and your Harrisburg True Green Lawn Care. Now, let's check in with Ben Shad for this week's edition of Foundation Facts with the Wildcat Foundation.
Hello, Wildcat fans, and thanks for tuning in for this varsity contest on GoMechanicsburg.com, now on YouTube at Go Mechanicsburg. And it's always presented by 11 Oaks Farm in Newville. We'll get you out to the Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth in just a bit. For right now, it's time for our pregame segment. Pregame, as always, presented by the Wildcat Foundation. And this is Foundation Facts. And today I am joined by Shari Lancey. Shari, welcome.
Thank you for having me today.
Of course. So give us a little bit of your background. When did you first make your way to the Mechanicsburg Area School District?
About 6 years ago, I came from another area school district. My children have been attending here, and I was delighted with all the wonderful things that I saw here. And so I made my way, and now today I've been 6 years here, and I absolutely love working here.
Fantastic. And with your years in the district, when did you first hear about the Wildcat Foundation?
So I started hearing about the Wildcat Foundation the very opening days. We hear about what the Wildcat Foundation does, but it wasn't until 2 years ago that our school had a teacher write a grant through the grant process, and we received several different games for our soft start. So in the morning, our students come in, they get to start their day in a slow way, just to kind of like work into the day. So, students come in at different times, and some of them are coming in tired, and some of them are, just different students come in at different times, and they need different ways to get their day started. And so just like every different person, how they wake up in the morning, some are raring to go and ready to start, and other students like to come in and put their head down. So with these games that Amber Weiler, she was the one who wrote the grant through the program, these games were giving our students just this wonderful opportunity to just interact with one another and start their day in such a positive way that it allowed them to reset. So by the time that it was time to start their academics, they were really able to then engage and be ready to learn. So when I saw this happening, I was like, this is just a great way to get them started. And so I started thinking about what we do in ELA class. I'm an ELA teacher, and we just started rewriting some curriculum for word work. And, it needed a little bit of spicing up. And so what I decided to do was take a look at word work games. And I gathered a couple on my own and started to play around with it in my class. And lo and behold, you put some games in front of kids, whether it's, they had no idea. They did, obviously, they're very smart. And they know that they were playing games that were teaching them words, but it just took off, and they absolutely loved just interacting with these games, and they're learning words, and they're having fun, and they're laughing, and they're just enjoying each other. And it just became this it became this weekly thing that we did. And so we would rotate kids, we would rotate games, and it just became such this just wonderful celebration of words every week. And bam, it was born. And so I went to my colleague and I asked her, okay, so how long is it going to take me to write this grant? And she was like, it's so easy. She's like, just do it. It doesn't take a lot of time. And I've written grants before, and, they're hard to get. It's not an easy process, for one. It takes a lot of time. And then, you go through it, and then it's hard to get. Money is hard to get, and supplies are hard to get. But she encouraged me. She said that, she was encouraged by teachers at the third grade level that they had received supplies. And so I was strongly encouraged, and I said, I'm going to do it. And then after going through the process, the Wildcat Foundation was really keeping the people writing the grants at heart, because the process was super simple. And when it was all said and done, at the end of the school year, it was the last week of school, the email popped up. I'm getting chills right now, because the last week of school, it's all over. The kids have gone home, and there you are, and you're checking your email the last week. And this email popped up from the Wildcat Foundation, and we had been approved here, and we had enough money to buy 30 teachers enough games that they would be able to just circulate these games throughout their classrooms to play for this entire school year.
Hello, Wildcat fans. Ben Shad here, interjecting. Shari had so much to share with us that we will have to do a part 2. This has been Foundation Facts, presented by the Wildcat Foundation here on Go Mechanicsburg, now on YouTube at Go Mechanicsburg.
Locally owned and operated, 11 Oaks Farms raises Wagyu beef and heritage breed pork right here in Newville, Pennsylvania. Our low-stress practices and carefully designed diets produce some of the finest meats you will ever experience. We also offer a selection of quality Angus beef, pork, chicken, seasonings, sauces, pantry items, and much more. Shop online at 11oaksfarms.com. Visit us in-store at 34 North Corporation Street in Newville, or call 717-360-8249.
So I stopped in at Chick-fil-A for lunch and saw Officer Wilson come in. I decided to place a dine-in mobile order and have a cookie delivered to him just to show appreciation for his service for our community.
A few minutes later, I noticed that Officer Wilson had gotten up and left, and I knew he hadn't gotten his cookie yet.
And I'm headed to my car. I turn around and I see Allie, and she's running after me.
Mr. Police Officer, Mr. Police Officer.
Usually when someone yells officer, officer, they want to ask me about a ticket they got. I absolutely wanted the cookie. This cookie is delicious.
Name brand at this price? Is this for real?
Not exactly. That's bargain bliss setting in. You're basking in the glow of name brand beauty products at shockingly low prices.
Oh, that's so refreshing.
There's nothing like a little me time.
Grocery outlet, bargain market.
Just one more minute.
Does your property need a little TLC? Call Lawnscapes Inc. of Mechanicsburg today at 717-697-1833 and see how Wes Moret and his team can transform or maintain your residential or commercial property. From hardscapes to yard services of all types, tree and shrub surface and more, this locally owned and operated business has you covered. Call today for your free estimate. Lawnscapes Inc. 717-697-1833. That's 717-697-1833.
We are dedicated to serving our members, associates, and communities because they give us purpose. We know we are stronger when we come together as one. We believe financial literacy is a key tool for personal well-being, economic stability, and a more secure financial future for everyone. And we are committed to providing all with access to financial wellness resources. We strive to deliver unparalleled experiences for our members through every moment and milestone. We are built by will, forged by people, and powered by a proud member experience.
Operation Wildcat is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to pool the resources in our community to help our school district students, families, and staff members in need. We'll take your new or gently used back-to-school items, bikes, books, clothing, dresses and suits, furniture, Halloween costumes, gifts for the holiday, Christmas tree decorations, pennies, socks, underwear, Thanksgiving food, toothbrushes and toothpaste, and yard sale items. Learn more at OperationWildcat.org and go Wildcats.
Craig was in the Rockies and had to cut his ski trip short because he was having severe knee pain.
Lauren came in, she was really discouraged. She had tried 3 months of therapy, nothing was working. She really wanted to get back to volleyball.
We found that he had severe arthritis in both knees and his hip.
She needed shoulder arthroscopy with slap and posterior labral repair.
Simultaneous bilateral total knee replacements.
6 months of recovery and Lauren's back, happy as ever.
3 months after his final surgery, Craig sent us pictures of him skiing the Rocky Mountains. And that's what makes our job here at OSS Health so fulfilling.
Elevate your everyday with the Mechanicsburg Area Recreation Department. Immerse yourself in a world of excitement and discovery. From adrenaline-pumping sports to serene outdoor escapes, we've got your perfect recreation blend. Join us for fitness, family fun, and fantastic experiences. Unleash your inner adventurer. It's time for a thrilling escape. Visit mbgsd.org and click on the Recreation tab. Or drop by your office at the Trails and Trees Environmental Center. Mechanicsburg Area Recreation, where every moment is a new adventure.
Inventory levels are back at the Bobby Rahal Auto Group, where honesty, selection, and great prices meet. We never priced vehicles over MSRP and never will. Come visit us today and drive away with your dream car at a great value. Bobby Rahal Automotive Group, your trusted destination for the best vehicles and exceptional service. Online at bobbyrahal.com.
The Turnbridge Group at RBC Wealth Management are proud supporters of Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. When you're faced with tough business, personal, and financial decisions, turn to the Turnbridge Group. They specialize in retirement planning and complex financial situations as their team helps you define and attain your goals, all while building a strong and caring relationship with you. Advisors Tim Engel, Jonathan Stow, and Nick Hansen are available for your call today. The Turnbridge Group, part of the community and for the community. Visit them online at turnbridgegroup.com or call 717-724-4225.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Hello, Wildcat fans, and thanks for tuning in for this varsity contest on GoMechanicsburg.com and now on YouTube at Go Mechanicsburg, presented by 11 Oaks Farm in Newville. We'll get you out to the Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth in just a bit, but right now it's time for part 2 of our pregame segment. Pregame is always presented by the Wildcat Foundation, and this is Foundation Facts. We are going to join for part 2 with Shari Lancy. She shared so many great things about us with her program. We're going to pick it up right where we left off, starting right now.
Yeah, it is a wow, because we're talking thousands of dollars, and like it took me maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes to write the grant, get everything proofread and processed. Maybe a little bit longer because I want to make sure everything is in order, but as of today I was able to get everything ordered, everything out to teachers by November 1st, and 9 games to all of our ELA teachers for 4th grade and 5th grade, and then our special ed teachers, our learning support teachers, our ELD teachers. Who else am I missing? I have it written here. I try to include all of our teachers so that all of our students could be included. So these games are for all children. So every child in the school could have a seat at the table. There's no one here in our building that can't play. And all the games that were chosen were games that can be adapted so that it doesn't matter what level you are, and it doesn't matter how well you read or how well you don't read. The games can be at your level. They can help you learn words. They can help you spell words. So it's really all encompassing so that, again, it's just another way to add that level of fun, especially with the 4 or 5 kids. They just eat it up. And so it's just been such a positive experience with, oh, my lights are going to go on, a positive experience here at our building.
Absolutely. And while you're figuring out the light situation, I just have to say, I mean, the 4 or 5 level, we talked to quite a couple English teachers, but a lot of them are early on. And they had all these specialized tools, but I think I remember talking to Amber Weiler last year, if I'm not mistaken, and remembering about those games and how they can, get her focused. It's like, man, I wish I had that at work right now, let alone back in school at that level. And, also another thing I just wanted to touch on real quick before we wrap here is, I'm married to a teacher, and that last week of school is very much a grind, and you're very much looking forward to that summer vacation. But I imagine when you got that grant email saying it was approved, that probably made you want September or the last week of August to kind of roll around just that much quicker so you can get your hands on this and really help these students flourish and get interested and start the day off just on the right foot.
Right. And it was so nice when I went around and I delivered, like the day that I was, I packaged everything up nice, and I have them and like these little buckets that I gave everybody, and they had the games on them with the names. I tried, put it in a bucket to make sure that, everybody received all these nice little packages. But when I went around and I gave the teachers their buckets full of their games, like they were just so appreciative and just so excited to have these to then share with the students. And again, like when the students see you get these buckets out, and again, I called it Wordplay Wonderland, they're thrilled. And they want to play it on times like during, so now they want to play it during soft start, or they'll want to play it like at the end of the day, or when there's some downtime, they'll ask to play it. So, now they're playing it at times when it's their free time or their may-do time. And so now they're practicing words when you wouldn't normally think that they would be doing that. So again, that's where like that ELA part of the teacher in me is like, they're doing it and they're doing it on their own. And that's where it gets very exciting. So yeah, very rewarding. It's been a very rewarding experience.
As a teacher, that's all you can ask for, is seeing that subject area in the free time, not just in the allotted time during the day. Fantastic stuff. Thank you so much, Shari, for joining us. Folks, this has been Foundation Facts presented by the Wildcat Foundation. Learn more about them online at wildcatfoundation.org. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the weekly Wildcat scoreboard presented by Operation Wildcat.
Locally owned and operated, 11 Oaks Farms raises Wagyu beef and heritage breed pork right here in Newville, Pennsylvania. Our low-stress practices and carefully designed diets produce some of the finest meats you will ever experience. We also offer a selection of quality Angus beef, pork, chicken, seasonings, sauces, pantry items, and much more. Shop online at 11oaksfarms.com. Visit us in-store at 34 North Corporation Street in Newville, or call 717-360-8249.
I needed a change in my life. I wanted to be closer to my grandchildren. I was not hearing what the kids were saying. I fly hot air balloons and I couldn't hear leaks. It was time to take care of my hearing. As soon as I met Marianne at Renewed Hearing Solutions, she made me feel so comfortable. My life has improved so much since I got hearing aids. It was the best thing I've ever done. I would highly recommend Renewed Hearing Solutions.
Get back in the conversation. Call Renewed Hearing Solutions today.
Snappers Bar and Grill at 120 East Allen Street in Mechanicsburg is proud to support Wildcat Athletics. Snappers is open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. and offers outstanding service and exceptional food and drink options, all at a fair price. Stop in for fresh seafood, delicious hand-cut steaks, and homemade pasta dishes. Snappers also offers a variety of sandwiches, fresh, crisp salads, and awesome appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or have your next big gathering catered. Snappers Bar and Grill. Call 717-697-9475 to learn more.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Seth Gardner for your personal price plan today.
This is you. And this is us. Hi, we're True Green. We're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. That means we'll give you a pro-level lawn guaranteed. That's a satisfaction guarantee. That's a price match guarantee. That's a guarantee on top of your guarantee. So you can do less of this and more of this.
Walters & Galloway Attorneys at Law is your hometown law firm and devotes a significant part of their practice to estate planning, estate administration, elder law, real estate law, family law, and more. Let their expert team help you sell, purchase, or refinance your home too. Their team can work to prepare your will, trust, power of attorney, or aid in the estate care of a loved one. With 2 convenient Mechanicsburg office locations, you can learn more and make an appointment today by visiting them online at waltersgalloway.com or call 717-697-4700.
I'm liking what I'm seeing out here, guys. Speed and precision. This is the type of hustle I'm looking for. That championship level effort. This is where all of our training pays off.
You know, most homeowners just check in on us now and then.
Every West Shore home installer is a highly trained employee that can stand up to scrutiny from anyone.
Let's go do this!
The Wildcat Foundation is Mechanicsburg Area School District's education foundation. Established in 1998, the foundation raises and distributes funds that support students in education, wellness, cultural awareness, and athletics. The Wildcat Foundation has also awarded hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships to support students' higher education. Learn more and donate today at wildcatfoundation.org. Wolf Brewing Company in Mechanicsburg, established in 2021 as a family and pet-friendly social experience, offers food and drink options for the community from the community. Family owned by Wildcat graduates, Wolf Brewing Company is just off South Market Street in the all-new Legacy Park. Stop in before, during, or after the game for food crafted from the freshest local ingredients, plus many award-winning drinks made on site. Wolf Brewing Company, 100 Legacy Park Drive, Suite 400, online at wolfbrewingco.com or call 717-590-7917.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ben Shad, and it's time for our weekly Wildcat scoreboard presented by Operation Wildcat. State playoffs are ongoing, and it's been a busy few days for the Wildcats. First, we'd like to congratulate senior girls tennis player Taryn Zerby for qualifying for states and competing in the first round. She is also the Mid-Penn champion and the District 3 runner-up. Also competing in the first round of states were field hockey and boys soccer. Field hockey defeated the number 1 seed out of District 7, previously undefeated Pine Richland, losing to Mechanicsburg 2-0 on Tuesday, while boys soccer fell to Fox Chapel by a score of 3-0. Boys soccer ends its season with a 10-9-3 record. Meanwhile, with the field hockey win, the girls play tomorrow at Exeter versus the number 2 seed from District 1 in Conestoga High School. Match times at 5 p.m. and will be streamed on YouTube at Go Mechanicsburg. A field hockey win sends them to the 3A state semifinals on Tuesday, November 12th, versus either Central Bucks West or Easton. Finally, football plays its first district playoff game since 2020 tonight when they take on the Cocalico Eagles. The winner plays next week versus either Bishop McDevitt or Conrad Weiser. The game will be played at the higher seed. For the latest on Wildcat athletics, visit GoMechanicsburg.com or on Twitter at GoMechanicsburg. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Mike Garland will be joined by head coach Dave Heckard for Coach's Corner. It's on GoMechanicsburg.com and on YouTube at GoMechanicsburg. As always, tonight's game is presented by 11 Oaks Farm in Newville.
Locally owned and operated, 11 Oaks Farms raises Wagyu beef and heritage breed pork right here in Newville, Pennsylvania. Our low-stress practices and carefully designed diets produce some of the finest meats you will ever experience. We also offer a selection of quality Angus beef, pork, chicken, seasonings, sauces, pantry items, and much more. Shop online at 11oaksfarms.com. Visit us in-store at 34 North Corporation Street in Newville or call 717-360-8249.
So I stopped in at Chick-fil-A for lunch and saw Officer Wilson come in. I decided to place a dine-in mobile order and have a cookie delivered to him just to show appreciation for his service for our community.
A few minutes later, I noticed that Officer Wilson had gotten up and left, and I knew he hadn't gotten his cookie yet.
I'm headed to my car. I turn around and I see Allie, and she's running after me.
Mr. Police Officer, Mr. Police Officer.
Usually when someone yells, officer, officer, they want to ask me about a ticket they got. I absolutely wanted the cookie. This cookie is delicious.
Name brand at this price? Is this for real?
Not exactly. That's bargain bliss setting in. You're basking in the glow of name brand beauty products at shockingly low prices.
Oh, that's so refreshing.
There's nothing like a little me time.
Grocery outlet, bargain market.
Just one more minute.
Does your property need a little TLC? Call Lawnscapes Inc. of Mechanicsburg today at 717-697-1833 and see how Wes Moret and his team can transform or maintain your residential or commercial property. From hardscapes to yard services of all types, tree and shrub service and more, this locally owned and operated business has you covered. Call today for your free estimate. Lawnscapes Inc. at 717-697-1833. That's 717-697-1833.
We are dedicated to serving our members, associates, and communities because they give us purpose. We know we are stronger when we come together as one. We believe financial literacy is a key tool for personal well-being, economic stability, and a more secure financial future for everyone. And we are committed to providing all with access to financial wellness resources. We strive to deliver unparalleled experiences for our members through every moment and milestone. We are built by will, forged by people, and powered by a proud member experience.
Operation Wildcat is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to pool the resources in our community to help our school district students, families, and staff members in need. We'll take your new or gently used back-to-school items, bikes, books, clothing, dresses and suits, furniture, Halloween costumes, gifts for the holiday, Christmas tree decorations, pennies, socks, underwear, Thanksgiving food, toothbrushes and toothpaste, and yard sale items. Learn more at OperationWildcat.org and go Wildcats.
Craig was in the Rockies and had to cut his ski trip short because he was having severe knee pain.
Lauren came in. She was really discouraged. She had tried 3 months of therapy. Nothing was working. She really wanted to get back to volleyball.
We found that he had severe arthritis in both knees and his hip.
She needed shoulder arthroscopy with slap and posterior labral repair.
Simultaneous bilateral total knee replacements.
6 months of recovery, and Lauren's back, happy as ever.
3 months after his final surgery, Craig sent us pictures of him skiing the Rocky Mountains. And that's what makes our job here at OSS Health so fulfilling.
Elevate your everyday with the Mechanicsburg Area Recreation Department. Immerse yourself in a world of excitement and discovery. From adrenaline-pumping sports to serene outdoor escapes, we've got your perfect recreation blend. Join us for fitness, family fun, and fantastic experiences. Unleash your inner adventurer. It's time for a thrilling escape. Visit mbgsd.org and click on the Recreation tab, or drop by our office at the Trails and Trees Environmental Center. Mechanicsburg Area Recreation, where every moment is a new adventure.
Inventory levels are back at the Bobby Rahal Auto Group, where honesty, selection, and great prices meet. We never priced vehicles over MSRP and never will. Come visit us today and drive away with your dream car at a great value. Bobby Rahal Automotive Group, your trusted destination for the best vehicles and exceptional service. Online at bobbyrahal.com.
The Turnbridge Group at RBC Wealth Management are proud supporters of Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. When you're faced with tough business, personal, and financial decisions, turn to the Turnbridge Group. They specialize in retirement planning and complex financial situations as their team helps you define and attain your goals, all while building a strong and caring relationship with you. Advisors Tim Engel, Jonathan Stow, and Nick Hansen are available for your call today. The Turnbridge Group, part of the community and for the community. Visit them online at turnbridgegroup.com or call 717-724-4225.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
And good evening, Wildcat fans. Mike Garland and you on GoMechanicsburg.com. It is pregame presented by our friends at the Wildcat Foundation. And we are looking live at the Mechanicsburg High School Marching Band. They most recently competed in nationals at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, taking a top 5 finish in their bracket. And tonight we will see their full performance show in advance of tonight's kickoff. We are just about 30 minutes away from kicking off tonight's postseason game versus Cocalico. The Wildcats, the number 2 seed, Cocalico, the number 7 seed. And kickoff will be coming up at 7 o'clock. We also have our Coach's Corner segment with football coach Dave Heckert. That's right around the corner. And if you are a fan of Wildcat field hockey, don't forget that tomorrow Ben Shad will have the call here on GoMechanicsburg.com, starting with pregame at 4:50 and first touch at 5 o'clock from Exeter, as the Wildcat field hockey squad will take on Conestoga. High stakes tonight for the Wildcat football team, undefeated on the season, looking to advance in the postseason for the first time in a long time. And Dave Harris and I will talk about that more in just a few moments. But the marching band getting ready, getting set, and in just about 2 or 3 minutes we will hear from them. And then at 6:45 we will transition to Coach's Corner with football head coach Dave Heckert. Coach's Corner presented by the Wildcat Foundation. So stay with us. The marching band performance coming up in just a few moments on GoMechanicsburg.com. Wildcat Marching Band upcoming on GoMechanicsburg.com. Tonight's game presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. The Mechanicsburg Wildcats and the Cocalico Eagles from Memorial Park and John H. Frederick Field. It's been fun watching the marching band with their performance all year long. And like I said, they just performed at Nationals at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey last week. A top 5 finish for the marching band under the direction of Ben Goldsboro. So the band getting ready to take their position on the field. Thumbs up from Mr. Goldsboro. And we are just about to hear from the Maroon Machine on GoMechanicsburg.com. And a reminder, band fans, we will showcase the band until 6:45 here on GoMechanicsburg.com. The Maroon Machine.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Mechanicsburg High School Marching Band.
Mechanicsburg High School Marching Band, the Maroon Machine, on GoMechanicsburg.com. And a big round of applause to these students, masters of their craft, as the band comes together for a selfie to wrap up their presentation. A tribute to the Beatles in 2024, the Maroon Machine, and we thank them for showcasing their talents, and thank you for tuning in. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have Coach's Corner with head coach Dave Heckert. Tonight's game presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville, and it's all on GoMechanicsburg.com. Hey there, Wildcat fans. It's Mike Garland, voice of Wildcat Athletics. And that map you're looking at and those little blue pin drops, they represent the central Pennsylvania locations of our broadcast partners. From our presenting sponsor, 11 Oaks Farms, to the south and west in Newville, to one of our newest partners, True Green Lawn Care on the East Shore in Middletown, and everywhere in between. These are community-oriented businesses, and their dollars are supporting Wildcat Athletics. So in turn, fans, I ask you to support them. Pick up the phone and price their services. Shop in their store locations. Tell them you heard about it during a broadcast of Wildcat Athletics. You can go to GoMechanicsburg.com right now and click on the live stream tab to learn more about each one of these great central Pennsylvania businesses. We thank them for their support, and I encourage you to support them in turn.
It's time for Coach's Corner, presented by the Wildcat Foundation. Here's head coach Dave Heckert and the voice of the Wildcats, Mike Garland.
It is time for Coach's Corner, presented by the Wildcat Foundation on GoMechanicsburg.com. I'm with first-year head coach Dave Heckert, and Coach, 10-0 in your first season as Wildcats coach. How's that feel for you?
Feels great, obviously. You know what I mean? I'm just really happy for the guys, and they put a lot of hard work into getting to this point, and a lot of that, people don't see. You see the product of Friday nights, but a lot of time and commitment went into that. So it's good to see kids get a reward for that. You know what I mean, for that hard work and whatnot. So. And
you reached that 10-0 mark with a big victory over Shippensburg a couple of weeks ago. It seems like forever ago now with the bye week between right. Week 10 and where we are this coming week with Cocalico. But let's go back to that game in Week 10 against Shippensburg. It was another matchup that on paper many people thought it would be competitive, but by the time the first two quarters had concluded, it looked like every other game this year. When did you find out, first of all, that Brady Majeski wasn't going to be playing?
We found that out as soon as we walked into the field and saw him in street clothes, with his jersey on. Obviously he's a key centerpiece of their offense, kind of like the game manager, of that offense. Although he does hand the ball off a lot, running that offense that they run, he does a good job, managing that whole system. So.
And then early in the game, Shippensburg's star running back, Janai Statham, I believe is his name.
Yep.
He got hurt, so now they're down two very important pieces of their puzzle. Do you feel that you got the best of what Shippensburg could have given you on Friday night?
So I think that, obviously with a quarterback being out, I think that definitely presents a problem for them, Now, that being said, I feel like the offense that they run, it's probably not as detrimental to lose a quarterback positional player, in that offense, being the heavy ground game they have. Hey, look, we had, Isaac Dolman was out still, and I think at the end of the year here, where everybody's at is, you're trying to put the best 11 on the field, and sometimes there's injury and things happen, and so trying to put that piece of the puzzle together is an important part here of the postseason, and we were able to do that on Friday night. So.
And some game specifics, instead of focusing on what didn't happen, let's talk about what did. Another amazing game from Don Baker, Eli Ryder, and your offensive line. Talk about those guys.
No, I think, ball games are won and lost up front, and our offensive line has been great all year, but they've been steadily improving every game, too. So that's really good to see. Eli Ryder has been nothing but awesome, each week. He comes out and runs the offense and does a great job. And then, Don Baker, again, for the second week in a row here, stepping in for Isaac Dolman, did his job and again, something we expect from him. I mean, he's a good running back and a guy that I think is really going to help us here in the playoffs.
So at the end of the second quarter, you have the ball deep in Shippensburg territory. You send the field goal unit out, and Coach Faust calls a timeout, and all of a sudden the Wildcat offense comes back on the field, and we see some trickery. You talk about, you practice these things week in and week out. I don't know how many different people touch the ball, but ultimately it was designed perfectly. You had a nice wall on that left side for the touchdown. Who decided, hey, let's do this?
We sent the field goal team out, which was my call at first, but and we had talked about it, like, on the headset, what are we doing here? And I decided to kick a field goal to go up, 3 possessions. So we sent our field goal team out, and it was one of those deals where as confident as I felt about it, and Nathan's been doing a great job all year, it was still a nice little field goal from a distance, off of grass. And that being said, when they took the time out and came off, we came over to the side, I think that's when we decided as a staff to hey, let's do this, let's go for it. And the play that we ran, it was really funny. I'm thinking in my head, like, this would be a great time to run this play, and our offensive coordinator called it, and I said, let's do it, let's go with it, because it was in my head, it was in his head, and it was a perfect call, and it worked. So.
It was beautiful. It was a touchdown. And you had another, I believe Dom Baker scored on a screen pass at some point in the game as well, where he just had an amazing wall by the offensive line. Now, there was one play that ultimately wasn't a touchdown, but it looked great on film. It was Eli Ryder's long run. Colin Stair hustled down the field and just blew a kid up 30 yards down from the line of scrimmage. And I think he was the one that got called for something, valid or not, but it was a beautiful play. Right. I mean, you got to love his hustle.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what we want. We guys hustling downfield and blocking and I think more than anything was that block at where he was needed at that point. And I think one of the things that officials have made it clear on, that they're trying to protect kids from that type of stuff. And whether we think it was a penalty or not, it was probably the timing of it and where it was located was probably unnecessary. So they did call it, but I want our people to hustle. I want Colin to keep hustling down the field and making those blocks. But it was a great run by Eli too. So.
And another great game by your defense. And it's crazy to think, if you look back, I saw Eli Ryder push something out on social media recently touting his stats that your starters, offense and defense, basically only played 28 of 40 quarters. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
So, it is. And we've played 28 of 40, what did you say, 40 quarters?
40 quarters for your starters, yeah.
It's really crazy to think of what they've been doing in that smaller amount of time. So good to them. And really, I like the fact that we've had a chance really to get other guys in. I mean, that's only helping our program, getting some younger guys on the field and facing actual varsity competition, the sophomores and juniors. And those are guys who are going to come up in your program and hopefully step in and help next year. And we've been fortunate enough to get them some time too. So.
Well, it was an awesome game against Shippensburg, a great way to cap it off. And you win the conference championship. You get the Gatorade bath. Did you know that was coming?
No, I mean, I really was, it was the fourth quarter and I was zoning out, just kind of counting the ticks down. And so, yeah, it was a little cold, but it was all fun. So.
Did you have a different sweatshirt to wear on the bus
ride
home?
I did. I was able to change. And now the backside of my pants were soaking wet, so I was sitting in water the whole way home. But, hey, it was worth it, right?
Absolutely. So conference champs. And in case you were wondering, Shippensburg also made the playoffs. They did win their first round game last week against Warwick. I believe 20-13 was the final. Correct. So the Greyhounds advance, and they're on the other side of the bracket. I mean, there's a path where you could see them again.
Yeah, we could, and that's not out of the realm of possibility. I think that top half of the bracket and the bottom half, I mean, it's wide open right now, and we'll see what happens.
We're going to take a break, come back, and talk about tonight's opponent, the Cocalico Eagles. It's Coach's Corner, presented by the Wildcat Foundation on GoMechanicsburg.com. The Wildcat Foundation is Mechanicsburg Area School District's education foundation. Established in 1998, the foundation raises and distributes funds that support students in education, wellness, cultural awareness, and athletics. The Wildcat Foundation has also awarded hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships to support students' higher education. Learn more and donate today at wildcatfoundation.org.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner on GoMechanicsburg.com. We're just a few minutes away from kickoff here at Memorial Park and John H. Frederick Field. It is the second round of the District 3 5A postseason. The Wildcats are the 2 seed, and by virtue of that 2 seed, had a bye last week, and that gave you, Coach Heckard, and your assistants and some of your players a chance to go to Denver, PA, and watch Cocalico take on Hershey. So the Cocalico Eagles are the opponent tonight. They were victorious. I believe 42-21 was the final over Hershey. Hershey. So Cocalico comes in. They are 8-3 on the year. Now, those 3 losses are all to undefeated postseason teams. So they've got a pretty solid resume.
Yeah, they do. I mean, here's a really good program. I mean, Cocalico's won a district title here last year in 2023, and then even the year before, in 22. So, I mean, this is a team that knows how to win. They know how to win in the playoffs, and they are very well coached. And it's going to be a tough ball game. So.
This is a team that if you look at the stats, which are readily available through Max Preps, and I know you have looked at them as well, they run the ball a lot. I think they've only thrown for 147 total yards all season, and against Hershey, they didn't complete a pass. They attempted one, didn't complete it, so they put up 42 points. They blocked a punt, which they returned for a touchdown. Just a lot of running. They run the option, which is not something you've seen this year through any of our contests. So what do you teach the kids throughout the week of practice to combat that?
So, to your point, we have yet to see an offense like this year. They run under center, midline, and veer, just like the academies run, Army, Navy, Air Force, and they're really good at what they do. And I think one of the things that makes it so difficult is you don't see it. And they get downhill quick, and they're looking to get 3 to 4 yards a pop, and then hopefully break a big run. But I think that it's like anything, man. It's almost like death by 1,000 cuts. And they just keep at you, and like I said, they do what they do well. So I mean, we're going to have to really buckle down up front, our defensive front, and know our assignments, know who we have, on those option plays, and I think if we can take care of the ball on the offensive side of the game, and tackle and know our assignments on the defensive side, we should be set up for hopefully a good ball game. So
on the defensive side, it is important for your ends to be able to read, and for your linebackers to read as well. So we're talking Willie Marshall-Travis. We're talking Colin Stair. We're talking Drew Freeland. You're going to have a ton of guys that are going to have to look at the game Friday night in a way that I guess they really haven't.
No, I mean, it's definitely a different look, and I think that one of the more difficult parts of their offense is trying to mimic that offense at our practice. It's just very difficult to do with your scout team, and so we're going to have to come out here this week and have a good practice, and hopefully get as many eyes on their offense as we can, and make the best use of our time at practice to take a look at it. I mean, it's difficult. So.
Number 8 and number 20 for Cocalico are going to be 2 of their big-time players. On the defensive side, I was looking at their stats the other day. They have 4 or 5 kids with 60-plus tackles. So clearly, they flock to the ball.
Oh, they run well to the ball on defense. They have a set of good linebackers. And again, this team is not like a big team. I mean, they're small, they're mighty, and like I said before, they're well coached. They run to the ball well, and they do everything right. So, it's going to take a big effort on Friday night for us to come away with a win for sure.
All right, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Yep.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back, and we're going to kick things off here in just a bit from Memorial Park and John H. Frederick Field, Mechanicsburg and Cocalico on GoMechanicsburg.com.
You've been watching Coach's Corner, presented by the Wildcat Foundation. Coming up, we'll get you out of the stadium for tonight's game on GoMechanicsburg.com and now on YouTube at Go Mechanicsburg.
Locally owned and operated, 11 Oaks Farms raises Wagyu beef and heritage breed pork right here in Newville, Pennsylvania. Our low-stress practices and carefully designed diets produce some of the finest meats you will ever experience. We also offer a selection of quality Angus beef, pork, chicken, seasonings, sauces, pantry items, and much more. Shop online at 11oaksfarms.com. Visit us in-store at 34 North Corporation Street in Newville, or call 717-360-8249.
It's time for Mechanicsburg High School Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com and now on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and follow Wildcat Athletics at Go Mechanicsburg on YouTube, available on all smart devices. Wildcat Athletics is presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville, Bobby Ray Hall Automotive Group, your neighborhood Chick-fil-A at Shepherdstown Crossing, Grocery Outlet Bargain Market, Lawnscapes Inc., Mechanicsburg Area Recreation, Members First Federal Credit Union, Operation Wildcat, OSS Health, now with 2 locations on the West Shore, RBC Wealth Management and the Turnbridge Group, Renewed Hearing Solutions, Sheets, Snappers Bar and Grill, Seth Gardner State Farm, Walters and Galloway Attorneys at Law, West Shore Home, the Wildcat Foundation, Wolf Brewing Company, and your Harrisburg True Green Lawn Care. Now, let's head out to the contest in the Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth for tonight's game.
With the call, here's the voice of the Wildcats, Mike Garland and Dave Harris.
And good evening, Wildcat fans. Thanks for tuning in on GoMechanicsburg.com, and welcome to a jam-packed Memorial Park and John H. Frederick Field for the second round of the PIAA District 3 5A playoffs. I'm Mike Garland, joined as always by Dave Harris, and tonight's game presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Dave, the Wildcats make their long-awaited return to the postseason this evening, and it's not just their first postseason game since we went to Governor Mifflin in 2020. It's their first postseason home game since 2008. The Wildcats have run roughshod over their opponents for the past 10 weeks, and tonight, after a first-round bye, it is game time against the number 7-seeded Cocalico Eagles and their diabolical option offense.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting night, Mike. Obviously, playoff football is outstanding opportunity, great feel for the community. Add to that the fact that Cocalico is coming off a win, brings a little something different to the table. And the Cats, a 10-0 season, that's been a long, long time since that has happened. And now with a home playoff game, as you pointed out, first time in better part of 2 decades.
It's a very special night here at Mechanicsburg, and we'll talk more about this amazing team and their opponents in Cocalico throughout the broadcast tonight. And at this time, we will take you back to the Mechanicsburg High School Marching Band for the national anthem on GoMechanicsburg.com. The national anthem has played. The coin toss has occurred. Cocalico won the toss and deferred. And Mechanicsburg will open tonight's playoff game with possession of the football. And, Dave, that is thing one. You look at what this team has been able to do offensively all season long. I have the score by quarter stat on the PC to our right, but I'll tell you this. In the first quarter this season, Mechanicsburg has outscored its opponents 160-6. And those 6 points, Dave, came in quarter one of week one against the Carlisle Thundering Herd.
Well, yeah, you have that, and then to couple with that, you've got Mechanicsburg scoring 382 points in 10 games. It's just 38 points a game. And you've got Cocalico scoring 239 in 11 games, which is 21 points a game. So 15, 16-point difference. You know, if Cocalico, and I respect their decision to defer, they're a run team. They're a team that wants to play even or from ahead. They're not designed to be able to play from behind. That being said, there's some pressure on the Cats, right? You're playing at home. You got a crowd. You got getting the ball first. And, you want to go out and get points. And I think if you go out and get points, it just sets the tone for the night. Cocalico gets a shutdown. We'll see.
This is a Cocalico team that went 7-3 during the regular season, 5-1 in Lancaster, Lebanon, Section 3. Those 3 losses, Dave, came to 3 undefeated teams. New Oxford, Lampeter Strasburg, and Conrad Weiser. And, oh, by the way, that Conrad Weiser team is about to kick off against Bishop McDevitt, with the winner of that game facing the winner of this one. We are ready to get things underway. Talon Popoulos will kick off for the Cocalico Eagles. The head coach is Brian Stroll in his 5th year. He's 28-17 overall, 5-2 in the postseason, including last week's win against Hershey. It's a bit breezy tonight, and that kick is going to be fielded by Josh Smith at the goal line. Josh Smith is going to be met at about the 11-yard line, and he is going to be stood up and stopped. On the tackle for Cocalico, Dane Bullinger.
He led the way along with Dylan Pereira. Take a quick look at your officials for tonight's game. They come to us from the York Adams Interscholastic Athletic Association. It's Steve Kellier. He's the referee. The umpire, Jay Kipp. Head linesman, Bruce Bartz. The line judge, John Bruner. Field judge, Larry White. Side judge, David Glass. And the back judge is Travis Byers. Again, those officials from the York Adams League. First down and 10 for the Wildcats. Eli Ryder in the gun. And welcome back to the backfield, Isaac Dolman.
Yes, big addition to have him back in the lineup. Let's see where we go from here.
A handoff, a run on the first play from scrimmage, and Dolman gains 5, maybe 6, met by Derek Balenci. It's going to bring up second down and make it a short 4, long 3 for the Wildcats.
Well, a big run for the Cats, not just because it's Isaac Dolman and the emotions that come with that, but clearly to see what we have up front. You know, obviously Conrad Cocalico feels they can run it down your throat. They've done it to the tune of over 3,000 yards this year, but that happens up front, and the Cats want to establish themselves up front as well early in this game.
Well, this is a Mechanicsburg team that's put up nearly 4,000 yards of total offense, including 1,970 yards on the ground, but through the air this time the chains will move as Eli Ryder finds Josh Smith. That's been a connection we've seen frequently this season. Josh Smith with his 51st catch of the year, now over 1,050 yards on the season.
Well, yeah, big catch, first down. We said, there's a calculated decision, and do you want the ball? Do you want to kick the ball and give it to an offense like Mechanicsburg? Cocalico decides to kick it to us, but they get us in deep, all right? There's not many people who've kicked it at Josh Smith. They did. They pinned us in, but now getting these first downs coming out are huge for the Wildcats.
First down and 10 for the Wildcats, and the pitch pass to Josh Smith coming around the end. A nice block by Drake Dawson and Isaac Dolman. Justin Bardo there as well, and that's a 6-yard completion. Second down and 4 for the Cats.
Yeah, those are always fun calls. Obviously, we've seen Josh Smith do so much with that, to the short side, to the wide side. We've seen touchdowns. We've seen modest 5-yard gains like that. But what they're doing is they're setting something up. Coach Rubinek with his play calling and formations, try to give them different things to think about, try to overload them just a little bit to the point where they start to outthink themselves, and that creates some natural opportunities for the offense to take advantage of.
Second down and 5 for the Cats. The ball on their own 29-yard line. Ryder, 3-step drop, going deep. Josh Smith with separation, and that pass just overthrown. Smith had a step on Braden Epinette, and if that pass was online, it would have been 6 for the Cats.
Yeah, it's a rare misconnection because we've talked earlier in the year about Eli needing to put maybe a little air under it sometimes. He put the air there, and somehow Josh didn't close that gap, which is very uncommon. But you know what? Great time for that play call, 2nd and 5. You've picked up your initial first down. You then had another 5-yard gain. So great decision right there. Great call. Keeps them honest, and that really actually loosens up the defensive backs, which should open up some short parts of the passing game, as well as, not to mention, keep them back on their heels a little bit in terms of run support.
Brendan Mena, Jack DeLuca, Josh Smith to the right of Eli Ryder, Drake Dawson on the left with Isaac Dolman in the backfield. Low shotgun snap. Ryder picks up. He is running, throws across the middle. Josh Smith catches an open space. Josh Smith across the 30. Brendan Mena coming in. Couldn't get a hand on the tackler, but Josh Smith deep into Cocalico territory. We'll take a look at it one more time if we can. And you see there, it was a touchdown-saving tackle by Braden Epinette.
Well, 3 big pieces there, Mike, obviously. First is Eli Ryder making it happen, right, as he evades, has a low snap, drops it a little bit, evades right. He finds him and makes it happen. Josh Smith for obviously nearly outrunning the defense. But at the end of the day, Brandon Mena, who we've seen try to do just a little too much sometimes with the best of intentions, made a very smart play there. The decision to just kind of hold back and try to just run himself in the interference, but not make something too much try to happen, really helped out.
Josh Smith was the reason for the officials' timeout. He comes to the sideline and takes a seat near the 25. May have just had the wind knocked out of him as athletic trainer Sandy Zettelmoyer is on the scene. He's actually getting his left, maybe right foot, a foot being looked at, and a whistle prior to the snap as Noah Apple still went up for that 50-50 ball.
Yeah, I think Smitty's shoe got pulled off, actually, and so he hobbled off carrying his shoe, and he's just sitting on the ground putting his shoes on now.
I like that kind of injury. My shoe fell off. That's it. And Cocalico calls a timeout, a pre-snap timeout, the first of the game. We'll keep it right here. There's been a lot of action through the first 2.5 minutes, Dave, and it's all come from the Mechanicsburg offense. This Cocalico team, as you mentioned, they've scored some points, 319. 239. They've given up 184, but I don't think they've seen an offense like what Mechanicsburg brings to the table.
No. I mean, they've got a nice record, 8-3, and they're to be respected. They run the ball down the throat. We haven't seen what it's going to look like. This is going to be a game, right? Let's not kid ourselves. But at the end of the day, they're scoring 21 points a game with a run-oriented offense, playing a team that scores 38 points a game that can do it from all aspects of the offense. So, Cocalico's coach, he's smart. You can't take him to the locker room at halftime. You can't look back later and say shoulda, woulda, coulda. He's like, you know what? We're only 2 minutes in, but you know what? Let's not let this thing get out of hand. We're going to use a timeout here. We're going to calm our kids down. We're going to set some stuff up. So we'll see.
And what that timeout actually does for the Wildcats, Dave, is it allows Josh Smith to come back on the field. He was able to get his shoe on. That timeout constitutes a stoppage of play, and it allows Eli Ryder to find Josh Smith, or at least try to find him in the corner. We've seen that play a couple of times this year. It is incomplete. On the coverage for Cocalico was Josh Meyer.
Well, yeah, that's a great design there. The Cats put four receivers to the right, so it really just dares the defense. What are you going to do? And the defense can't overcommit to one receiver, or they're going to have to give something else up. So they essentially leave Josh in one-on-one coverage, and the Cats liked their chances there. It just didn't happen.
2nd down and 10. Dolman in the backfield. Ryder, quick hitter, Josh Smith. Josh Smith working off a block from Brendan Mena. Tries to split a tandem of tacklers. Braden Epinette in on the stop for the Cocalico Eagles. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down at about 2.5.
Well, that's a nice 8-yard gain, right? You get the first down, and you go to the corner, see if you can get the quick touchdown. You don't get it, so you come back with a nice little hitch. You put it in Smitty's hands again, and now you're sitting there with a reasonable 3rd and 3. I don't want to sit here and say already, is it 4-down territory? Is it not? But it's something the coach has to think about as you're coming out here on your home field. You've taken it right down the field. You'd really like to get 7 here, whether it's on 3rd down or 4th down.
And you also know that you're in field goal territory for Nathan Babiak as Eli Ryder keeps and walks into the end zone. Touchdown, the Wildcats.
Yeah, no worry about whether it was going to be a field goal or not. I really wasn't sure that Coach Eckert early in this game was going to settle for a field goal attempt inside the 5-yard line. But you know what? It's a moot point, Mike. At this point, they go right in. You can't design it any better. You lose the toss, they defer, you get the ball. You actually don't get a great return. You don't get great field position. You're inside the 15, but you go right down the field. Small plays, a chunk play, and then Eli Ryder taking it in to get them the early lead.
Tristan Wolf, check that. Jimmy Dwyer will snap it back to Eli Ryder. Nathan Babiak readies to kick it through the uprights. The snap, the hold, the kick is up. And it is good. 8:56 remaining in the first quarter. It is Mechanicsburg 7 and Cocalico nothing. Back after this on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Locally owned and operated, 11 Oaks Farms raises Wagyu beef and heritage breed pork right here in Newville, Pennsylvania. Our low-stress practices and carefully designed diets produce some of the finest meats you will ever experience. We also offer a selection of quality Angus beef, pork, chicken, seasonings, sauces, pantry items, and much more. Shop online at 11oaksfarms.com. Visit us in-store at 34 North Corporation Street in Newville or call 717-360-8249.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Back at Memorial Park, John H. Frederick Field, a breezy fall Friday night, but still unseasonably warm temperatures. It's great to be playing November football. It's even better when the weather is this warm. I've got friends snowed in Denver. I was in Las Vegas this week where it was colder in Vegas than it was here. So all things considered, it's a great weather night for football.
Well, and I don't care if it's raining sideways right now. When you get the opening kickoff and you go down and score, that's great football weather no matter what. But, yeah, it's a perfect night. And here comes some excitement. I don't think there was any surprise in what we just saw from the Cats offense. It's what we've seen all year. It's what we expected to see. But they're going to face this triple option that you mentioned in the pregame, Mike, and it'll really be interesting to see how we respond to that.
A squib kickoff is covered by Jerry McCardle, and it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Cocalico Eagles. And we are going to mention the names Josh Meyer, Dane Horning, Braden Epinette, and Rocco Rigney an awful lot with this option offense. If you are familiar with Service Academy football or what Georgia Tech ran in the 2000s, that's what we will see tonight.
Yeah, it's triple option. So what you're going to see is a wing back typically to one side. You're going to see a slot back to the other side, a fullback who's in there in a low crouch stance, number 20, Horning, who's run for a ton of yards. And they're going to try to run a balanced play. They're going to call it at the line of scrimmage to see, and there it is, giving it right to the fullback.
Horning at the line of scrimmage goes nowhere, and Horning and Braden Epinette ran roughshod over Hershey last week.
Yeah, watching that, what they do is obviously you're going to see sometimes a little bit of motion, and once they make that pre-snap read, and I think it'll be interesting to see what the Cats do to try to kind of stay balanced on the ball and five to a side, so to speak, so that they don't give them a pre-snap read. And if they don't give them a pre-snap read, what that's going to allow the Cats to do is just play downhill from the inside out in terms of the run alleys, and that takes you from the fullback to the quarterback to the pitch man with your linebackers.
Josh Meyer under center. The motion man is Rocco Rigney. It's a pitch back, and it goes to Braden Epinette. And Epinette cannot turn the corner as Eli Ryder runs him out of bounds.
Yeah, the Cats have done a few different things here defensively. Coach Eckerd's dialed up a couple of things, and as you can see, they're loaded. They're ready. This is a defense. We've said it all year, Mike, and I don't care what scheme we're playing. We're fast sideline to sideline, and that bodes well here. Now, what you have to be careful of is when you start to get too fast sideline to sideline, you might overrun the fullback a little bit, and that's where we've seen Horning a couple times, and he did have a nice touchdown against Hershey early in that game. He's run for 2,000 yards in his career and 24 touchdowns. That doesn't happen by accident, so we'll see what happens here.
A two wide receiver set for Cocalico. Meyer under center. Single man in motion is Epinette. And it's Meyer on the keeper on 3rd and 11. He gains maybe 3 yards, so 4th down and 8.
Well, and they're just not designed to pass the ball. They're just not designed to pass the ball. They've done it throughout the season. They've not passed the ball. On the season, the quarterback who just ran the ball, 7 for 35. So we're going to run, and if we can run and beat you, we'll be in the game. If we can't run and beat you, we might as well get on the bus now and go home. So it'll be interesting to see if what we just saw from the Cats defense can be kept up here for the first half. If so, this could be a lot of mystery avoided.
Talon Popoulos receives the snap. A beautiful spiraling punt turning over. J.J. Gould watches it hit at about the 25, and it's going to roll inside the 10. The line of scrimmage was the 31. That's a 60-yard punt.
Well, that's a big play because, as I said, as I watched a little bit of film this week, Mike, this is not a team that's they're not going to be able to big play us. And I don't know that they can go up and down the field on us. However, field position, right? 3 and outs for the Cats, turnovers for the Cats. If the Cats let Cocalico stay in the game, they have the kind of scheme that they can beat us, right? And we didn't see it from the Cats early on. Not great field position. Here we are, even worse field position. But I liked how they came out and ran the ball, came out and ran some hitches last time. You don't try to get it all at once. Take what they give you and just work your way down the field.
Well, a beautiful punt by Popoulos gives the Cats its second possession from inside the 15. They went the distance the last time around, leading 7-0, and we'll see if the Cats can do it again. Eli Ryder in the gun, open backfield. Ryder on the quarterback keeper, working off a block from Brendan Mena. And Ryder cuts back in towards the second level, and he is going to be tackled by Chase Brenneman, and it's going to be a gain of 8, maybe 9 yards. Now they're going to say 10 with the official spot. The chains are going to move.
Yeah, about 11, and that's the thing. That big punt is great, and it was great. Credit to the young man. He got the good roll, and I respect Gould for not fielding that. Those are tough ones there. You don't want to turn it over, but they come right out, and they pretty much negate that punt. Not so much the yardage, but the hole that it put them in.
That takes the wind out of any Cocalico sail as well, thinking that you've pinned the offense deep. Isaac Dolman with the carry from scrimmage, and a big hometown cheer for Dolman as he carries for about 8 yards. It's going to bring up a second down and around 2.
Yeah, this is the part I have to say. I can't say I got a great feel when I watched Cocalico. I did pay attention very carefully to their offense. Defensively, I mean, they've given up 16 points a game, and that's respectable. But you go look at their record. In their league, there were only 2 teams with winning records. Now, 3 did make the playoffs, including Cocalico. But in their league, they had a number of teams who offensively just did not put up a whole lot of points.
2nd and 2. Josh Smith goes in motion. Ryder in the gun. Smith works as a decoy as Ryder keeps. Eli Ryder moves the chains one more time. He's tackled at about the 36-yard line by Dane Bullinger.
Yeah, big carry, get out over the 35-yard line, and this is what the Cats need to do, right? You don't need to get it all in one play, and that's the kind of offense they've had. Not that they don't stretch the field. You do need to stretch the field once in a while. They did it early with Josh Smith, opened up some other things. But just do it at your mercy, do it at your will, and that can grind a team down too, and mentally and emotionally, right? It's not just a physical game, it's a mental game.
4 wide receivers for the Cats, 2 stacked on either side. Ryder has his pass possibly tipped near the line of scrimmage, but Drake Dawson goes to the apex and pulls it in.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is demoralizing if you're Cocalico, right? You've watched the film, you know what's going on. You're like, watch out for Josh Smith. And then Eli Ryder rips off some plays. Drake Dawson's way down their list, and they didn't see Isaac Dolman the last couple weeks if they looked at the film the last couple weeks. So they're going, what the heck? We heard stop 1 and you stop them. Keep your eye on 7. You can keep 7 in the pocket and keep your eye on 1, you can stop them. Well, if they watch the whole season, and I'm not saying they didn't, but you know there's a lot of weapons to this offense, and that's what it's going to take. We want to win tonight. We want to play next week. We want to win next week, and we want to keep going. And it's going to take playmakers from all across the field to do it.
Ryder hit in the backfield. The ball is loose. It's a turnover for the Cats. That play was blown up from the start, and a nice job on the defensive side for Cocalico as Chase Brenneman comes away with the loose ball.
Well, we said early on, the only thing that can keep Cocalico in the game is plays like that. Now you got them on the plus side of the field, a place they couldn't get by themselves. And you got some momentum and some emotion, and that's not what the Cats need to be doing. So they gotta tighten up. They've battled back from this kind of adversity before, and they got to get it done here and now.
Dane Horning had the hit, and Horning is the single back in the backfield who takes that handoff and is met by Noah Apple after a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. And for the Wildcats, Dave, what just happened on that previous offensive play has not happened all that often this year.
Well, and when you make something out of nothing, as Eli Ryder so often does, and we praise him for it, sometimes you just try to make a little too much happen, and you can't make a little too much happen. Sometimes you just got to take what's there. And that play just was not, it was busted from the beginning. Well played by Cocalico. You just got to lick your wounds, sit down, and possess the ball.
An audible at the line of scrimmage as Josh Meyer looks to the sideline and head coach Brian Stroll. Dane Horning, the single back in the backfield. Meyer is going to keep following a lead block from Horning, and Noah Apple and Justin Bardo hold on for the ride, but that run good enough for a Cocalico first down. The chains will move.
Well, that's it. It's a physical ground and pound team, right? They've run for over 3,000 yards this year, something like 3,300 yards or 3,100 yards rushing, and they're going to keep doing it. And again, I think they will have some success from time to time. I don't think they can have enough success to score 28 points against us. And so, again, if you're the Cats, it's not about they're not going to get a touchdown, or it's not about they're not going to get some first downs. It's about don't give them the ball, right, when you have the ball. And that's the mistake we made, so we got to kind of, again, buckle down and see what we can do here.
First down and 10. Meyer under center. Horning the single back in the backfield. And Horning takes the handoff as Meyer falls down. Horning turns the corner. Noah Apple pushes him out of bounds inside the 10. That was just a well-executed run by Cocalico and turning the corner and making something happen.
Well, again, you don't run for, career yardage-wise. The quarterback, Meyer, has run for 2,500 yards and 39 touchdowns in his career. Horning has run for almost 2,200 yards and 24 touchdowns in his career. Sometimes it's competition, sometimes it's scheme, sometimes it's blockers, but those things don't happen by accident. There are talented runners over there, and I don't doubt that the Cats can match that, but at the end of the day, they're going to get their plays, and the key is not to get in a situation where those plays really shift the momentum completely in the favor of Cocalico.
Meyer under center, Horning in the backfield. Horning takes the handoff. There's a flag on the play.
That should be in that holding category. I don't think it was a face mask at all in there. That was the umpire, came in pretty quick right in the backside of the play. I'm thinking it was one of the interior linemen getting down on the linebacker, potentially.
Willie Marshall Travis on the tackle. That was umpire Jay Kipp that you were referencing. A couple of out-of-town scores, Dave. Bishop McDevitt leading Conrad Weiser 7-0 in the first quarter, and Conestoga Valley leading Shippensburg 7-0. Both games with about 5 minutes remaining in quarter number 1.
Yeah, we got I believe a cut block or a block below the waist there is what we're seeing is what was called.
So that will be marched off, and that'll be a 10-yard infraction against the Cocalico Eagles. Last time out for Cocalico, a 42-21 win over the Hershey Trojans, which ironically enough is the same score that Mechanicsburg beat Hershey by in Week 9, and also Shippensburg in Week 10.
Yeah, Cats here need to this is what you need to do. Bend but don't break. Battle, make them earn it. See if they can do it. Maybe they'll put it on the carpet. Maybe there'll be more penalties. Maybe you get a big play and blow it up.
The end man coming around, Braden Epinette looking to turn the corner, and Eli Ryder meets him at the line of scrimmage. A nice job by Ryder, and there's another flag as well.
Should be a hold here on the end. Watch the end. Watch the hold here that's happening. Wow, we can't see it from that camera angle. Somehow, this is the difference with the triple option. The cameraman gets faked out quite a bit too, Mike.
It was a hold, and it was Drake Dawson that got held, and I believe Jerry McCardle is going to be the guilty party, so that's going to be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So 1st and 25 is going to become 1st and about 33.
And this is where the Cats have to remember, those defensive ends, they've got to keep that outside contained. They got to keep stringing it out. They got to keep that outside arm free. Let the linebackers worry about the inside gaps instead of trying to pinch down. And I think obviously Drake Dawson was doing his job, but when you get held, there's not much else you can do.
And Coach Stroll has faith in his running game, but on 1st and 33, you may need to look at a pass every now and then with 2:27 remaining in the first quarter.
But you're seeing 1st and 33, and they're saying, hey, we got 4 plays. We're running 4 plays here. You know, we get 10 yards of play, we got a touchdown. So they're not really worried about passing right now.
Horning takes the handoff, met at the line of scrimmage. Drew Freeland, Willie Marshall, Travis, and Colin Stair. Jimmy Dwyer, you know what? The entire front line of the Wildcat defense hit on that stop.
Well, you know, as I tried to watch the film this week, Mike, you can't tell a lot from film in terms of size and aggressiveness and even physicality. I mean, you see plays, you see results, you see scheme. But I just kept coming back and back and back to this defensive front, and I just thought we haven't seen anybody who can match this defensive front. And I'm not saying we won't run into that team. If we play long enough, we probably will. But my favor is towards the Cats' defensive front in this matchup.
A gain of maybe 3 on the play, so 2nd down and 30. Here is a passing play, and it is a swing pass to the left and completed. Josh Meyer finds Dane Horning coming out of the backfield. Jack DeLuca with the tackle. Now, they're still not even back to the original line of scrimmage, but for a team that doesn't throw the ball much all year, that's got to be one of their biggest gainers of the season.
Well, it's not just a big gain. Honestly, it was a very nice touch pass. I'll say that. I mean, Jack DeLuca had very good coverage on him, and the quarterback just dropped it right over him. So for a team that doesn't throw the ball, again, the starting quarterback has a whopping 35 passes. You don't throw with that kind of touch, and when you only have 7 completions, it's not very easy. And that receiver previously had 1 catch for 26 yards. So kudos to them on both ends.
Josh Meyer under center, Brenneman in motion, and another pass play for Cocalico, and it is incomplete, intended for Rocco Rigney, and it's going to bring up a 4th down and 15, and the field goal unit and Talon Popoulis comes out. Popoulis has a big leg. We saw it on the punt, and this is definitely a makeable field goal, or at least in his range. The ball is going to be spotted at the 17. Add 10 for the end zone. That's 27 plus 7 more, something like 34 yards if my basic middle school math is correct.
Well, if you just look where the ball is set down, it's a 24-yard line, add 10.
That's a much easier way to get there.
There you go. Yep,
but it's also very windy right now. Swirling breeze. The snap, the hold, the kick is up. And it is good with room to spare. 37.6 seconds remaining in the first quarter as Cocalico musters some points. It's Mechanicsburg 7, Cocalico 3. Back after this on GoMechanicsburg.com.
So I stopped in at Chick-fil-A for lunch and saw Officer Wilson come in. I decided to place a dine-in mobile order and have a cookie delivered to him just to show appreciation for his service for our community.
A few minutes later, I noticed that Officer Wilson had gotten up and left, and I knew he hadn't gotten his cookie yet.
And I'm headed to my car. I turn around and I see Allie, and she's running after me.
Mr. Police Officer, Mr. Police Officer.
Usually when someone yells, officer, officer, they want to ask me about a ticket they got. I absolutely wanted the cookie. This cookie's delicious.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Back at Memorial Park, John H. Frederick Field, Mike Garland, Dave Harris, and you. Tonight's game presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville, and we're hanging out in the Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. Talon Popoulis bangs one in from 34 out, and it's a 4-point Mechanicsburg lead, 7-3. And Popoulis, who the last time he kicked off, put it down inside the 5. will tee it up one more time for the Wildcats with, looks like Josh Smith. Check that, J.J. Gould and Brendan Mena back deep.
Well, the Cats score in the first couple of minutes of the game and then get a 3-and-out, but then turn the ball over. And Cocalico gets a run out the clock, gets points, and remember, they're getting the ball in the second half. I know we got a whole quarter to go, but they're the kind of team that is absolutely going to chew up the clock when they have the football. So the game is going to get shorter, right? That's a team that's going to run the football repeatedly, even in non-running situations. And so as long as this is a one-score game or a 10-point game, Cocalico's just going to keep doing what they're doing, and the game's going to get shorter, and the game's going to get shorter. If you're Mechanicsburg, you want to stretch that out a little bit here, and the best way to do that, of course, is take that ball down the field and get some points.
We want to thank you for tuning in, whoever you are, wherever you are. We know that our friends at Snappers Bar and Grill are having a bit of a watch party. Also, our friends over at Wolf Brewing Company. I'm sure there's some backyard fire pit viewing going on right now as well. So, again, we thank you for tuning in. 37 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Dom Baker gets his first touch of the game. Dom Baker with a great couple of games in the substitute role, with Isaac Dolman out, and this time around he runs for 4, so 2nd down and 6. And it's got to be great for Coach Heckert knowing you've got that 1-2 punch as there is an injured Wildcat down on the field. I don't see a number yet, but I also don't see Dom Baker standing. So I think that is Baker on the field as I scan the 10 other maroon jerseys that are walking towards the sideline.
Well, Dom Baker came up so big last week, and he's come out big throughout the season, but he certainly has the last couple of weeks, and or 2 weeks ago, particularly down at Shippensburg. So it's a shame to see him down and out here on this play. But the Cats have some depth, and hopefully get him off, get him a breather. Doesn't look to be anything serious, and it's nice to have him as a change of pace back in there.
So Dom Baker gets up. He is headed towards the sideline. Athletic trainer Sandy Zettelmoyer, head coach Dave Heckert out there, along with some support from OSS Health, tending to the student athletes. 15.5 seconds remaining. Coming up at halftime, we'll check in with our friends at the at Operation Wildcat. End of the first quarter, Bishop McDevitt is leading Conrad Weiser 7-0. The winner of that game plays the winner of this game. If the Wildcats are victorious, it will be a home game against either the Crusaders or Conrad Weiser. And if Conrad Weiser is victorious, they would host. They are the number 3 seed. Tell you what, Bishop McDevitt has got to be one of the more favored number 6 seeds in this district bracket, just based on brand recognition alone. So because Dom Baker went down on a running play, the clock had stopped as he was tended to, but off the field, the clock will reset and run and hits 0. So we're going to take a break. Come back in just a few moments. It's Mechanicsburg and Cocalico on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Name brand at this price? Is this for real?
Not exactly. That's bargain bliss setting in. You're basking in the glow of name brand beauty products at shockingly low prices.
Oh, that's so refreshing.
There's nothing like a little me time.
Grocery outlet, bargain market.
Just one more minute.
I needed a change in my life. I wanted to be closer to my grandchildren. I was not hearing what the kids were saying. I fly hot air balloons and I couldn't hear leaks. It was time to take care of my hearing. As soon as I met Mary Ann at Renewed Hearing Solutions, she made me feel so comfortable.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
And we are back. Usually 60 seconds between quarters, more like 45 this time around. So we'll hear from our friends at Renewed Hearing Solutions again in just a few moments. Running play on 2nd down for the Cats is a short gain, so 3rd down and 5 with the ball on their own 25-yard line.
Play here, obviously, you want to get the first down because, what we saw there with Cocalico, and granted they only went down and got a field goal, but they did take the ball from about the plus 47-yard line down to the outskirts of the 10 before they settled for the field goal attempt. So a little momentum shift here possibly if the Cats don't get this first down.
So 3rd and 5. That pass, a slant pass complete to Josh Smith. Fancy footwork for Josh Smith, and he advances past the 40-yard line. The chains will move. And Josh Smith makes the difficult look simple.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Really that set up to pick up the first down. About a 6-yard pass. He does it, but he's so good and he's so quick little feet, and he kind of bounces off and then eludes the tackle and then heads upfield. So again, a really big play in the game when you think about it. And I'm going to say that of certainly every third down again until we get another score on the board. But you got to convert when those situations are in front of you, and they did.
3 wide receivers to the left of Eli Ryder. This is Isaac Dolman. And Dolman turns the corner. Dolman up the near sideline, cuts back in. Isaac Dolman on his feet at the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown! Isaac Dolman and the Wildcats are back on the board.
Wow, that's a big one. That's a big one. Again, we all know why we didn't have Isaac 2 weeks ago, and we understand that. Other teams maybe don't know the whole story, didn't see it. You're watching film, you're like, where'd this guy come from? But that's a nice kind of conservative play call. Short side of the field to the home bench, handing that ball off, but there were a couple good blocks at the point of attack. The Cats are aggressive, they're hungry, all 11 out on the field at one time. And for as good as the blocks were, Isaac Dolman made a lot of that happen himself, running with his eyes, seeing space, and then accelerating as we know he can with that incredible speed.
And that cutback on the near sideline, I believe it was Colin Stair in the area blocking for him. Donnie Despinis on the field. And the Cats couldn't get their personnel situated in time. A delay of game penalty forthcoming. The excitement of that touchdown, the emotion of the touchdown. He is getting hugs and high fives from everybody, and you know that means the world to Isaac Dolman, his mom Krista, his family, and it's just great to see the young man back on the field and putting up points for the Wildcats tonight. And now a whistle, a substitution for Cocalico, as this extra point is just a little further out now, a 25-yard extra point for Nathan Babiak. Jimmy Dwyer, the short snapper. Eli Ryder, the holder. Snap, hold, kick is up. Plenty of distance, and it is good. 10:29 remaining in the first half. It's Mechanicsburg 14, Cocalico 3. Back after this on GoMechanicsburg.com.
I needed a change in my life. I wanted to be closer to my grandchildren. I was not hearing what the kids were saying. I fly hot air balloons and I couldn't hear leaks. It was time to take care of my hearing. As soon as I met Mary Ann at Renewed Hearing Solutions, she made me feel so comfortable. My life has improved so much since I got hearing aids. It was the best thing I've ever done. I would highly recommend Renewed Hearing Solutions.
Get back in the conversation. Call Renewed Hearing Solutions today.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Isaac Dolman goes some 59 yards for the second Wildcat rushing touchdown of the night, and Mechanicsburg leads 14-3 in this second round playoff matchup, PIAA District 3 5A. And we are scoreboard watching right now. Bishop McDevitt is leading Conrad Weiser 14-0 in the second quarter. And I don't know when the last time was that Bishop McDevitt and either Cocalico or Mechanicsburg would have gotten together, but that's the coolest part about the postseason and some of the reclassification as schools grow or they bump up due to success, is you get to see some matchups that maybe you've never seen before.
Well, that's it. Once you went to 6A a few years back, you started to get some of those. There wasn't a 5A and a 6A before, but the reality is, the Cats aren't scoreboard watching just yet. It's a little early in this football game to do that. They got business to take care of, and we can look and see what that scoreboard looks like here maybe in about another 2 quarters. But until then, the Cats got to take care of their business, and Cocalico, who's right in front of them right now.
Dane Horning on the kickoff return. Tackle made by Landry Meadows of the Wildcats. And those 3 points that Cocalico scored in the first quarter, now just 9 points the Wildcats have given up during the first frame all year long. That's pretty impressive from a defensive standpoint.
Big possession here for Cocalico. 3 and out the first time. They got a short field the second time and took advantage of it and converted it into points. But now here they are. They're going to try to grind it down. The Cats don't seem caught off guard by the scheme, but it then becomes execution and physicality from here the rest of the evening.
Josh Meyer under center. 2 backs in the backfield. It's given to Horning. He bounces off the initial contact, but Drake Dawson, Eli Ryder, and Jack DeLuca are quick to flock to the ball and bring him down after a gain of 4.
Yeah, the key is, as I said, they're going to get their first downs, and they did get some there on that that second possession that led to the field goal. The key is don't give up that big play. So you got to play. This is assignment football, right? The cornerback's got to stay on the pitch man, the linebacker's got to stay on that fullback, and your end's got to stay on that quarterback, and then let the rest of the defense flow to the ball. And the Cats have done that well, but everyone's got to stay disciplined because they are going to run the same offensive plays, probably the same 3 or 4 plays all night long, and they're going to pop one if we get undisciplined.
Drake Dawson wraps up Dane Horning around the neck and brings him down. A gain of 1 on the play, 3rd down and 5 for the Cocalico Eagles.
Yeah, so they obviously that triple option are going to line up that fullback right behind the quarterback who's under center. That's the initial piece, and that quarterback makes a read on the defense, decides if he's going to go right or left. Based on what he's calling over the center in his cadence is dictating maybe whether the wingback or the slot back might come in some short motion behind the backfield. So right now they're lined up with the 2 backs in the backfield, and we'll see. Again, pre-snap motion should give us a little bit of an indication which way they're going to go.
Meyer under center. Meyer keeps, pitches to Epinette, and Epinette able to turn the corner and move the chains. In the vicinity for the Wildcats, Cody Harvey along with Willie Marshall-Travis.
Well, again, they've run this offense for 11 weeks now, so they've seen everything, right? Every team tries something different to stop it. They say, this is what we're going to do. It's not going to change. This is what we're going to do. And every team has to figure out, okay, what are we going to do to try to combat that? And everybody does a little bit something different. Everybody thinks they can figure that out, but they're just going to run it. If they get 50 plays tonight, they're going to run it 50 times, and they only need to pop it 3 or 4 times. They don't need to pop it 25 times.
1st and 10 for the Eagles. The ball on their own 40-yard line. Meyer on the quarterback keeper. Cuts back and cuts into Drew Freeland. He is the team leader in tackles coming in, now over 80 on the season. It's a gain of 5 for Cocalico with the ball now at the 45-yard line.
Well, and when Cocalico moved the ball early in the last drive, it was because those 5-yard gains of first down. Last part of this series before they got the first down, 5 yards on first down. When you're coming out and getting 5 yards on the first down, you're playing your game. And now your whole playbook is available to you, and especially with a 14-3 game. This thing becomes 17-3, 21-3, maybe a different story. 14-3, you stick with your scheme.
Josh Meyer under center, Dane Horning, the fake, and the pitch to Epinette. And Epinette is going to be just short of the line to gain. Willie Marshall-Travis read it well. He actually had a hand on Josh Meyer before Meyer was able to pitch to Epinette.
Well, and again, when you look at the statistics, they'd really like to see the fullback get it to the tune of 1,100 yards or the quarterback keep it to the tune of 1,100 yards. They pitch it when they have to, and that is Epinette, who's had 700 yards. So it's not, and he's got almost 10 yards a carry. So it's not as if that's not a good option, but that's the last option that they want. And what they're hoping to do is then pop that. And what happens is the more resources you put on the fullback, the more resources you put on the quarterback, the more likely it is that pitch man breaks that big play.
3rd down and 2. And Horning met at the line of scrimmage. The forward progress is going to give Cocalico the first down. Well, we'll see. The near side official has one spot. The far side official had another. So it's either just first down by the nose of the ball or they're going to be just short. Now the chains will move, but Horning was hit right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the far side official seemed to give him a really generous spot there, Mike. But the nose of the ball, initial surge, did seem to get to the 50. So probably the right spot, and that does result in a first down.
Bishop McDevitt has extended its lead over Conrad Weiser to 20-0, 8:44 remaining in the second quarter. First down and 10 for Cocalico. The ball on the Eagle 50. Meyer under center. Epinette in motion. The ball hits the carpet. Meyer picks it up, spins off one would-be tackler, still on his feet, into the second level. Now a fumble. And Cocalico will recover, so there's a lot of crazy that happened on that play, but ultimately it results in a 12-yard gain, and the chains will move for the Cocalico Eagles.
Well, and that's the difference, too, right? When you look at Meyer running the ball, 169 carries, 1,100 yards, he's a physical runner. And so that play was blown up a little bit, but it's not just scheme. It's not just deception. It's not just, hey, do they get the blocks? He was a physically pounding runner and went in there. Now, of course, some of that's what I think resulted in the ball popping loose because he took that extra shot.
So it's first down and 10 for the Cocalico Eagles, looking for their first touchdown of the night. This is a team that scored 29 touchdowns offensively this year. Epinette in motion. And it's an inside handoff to Rocco Rigney. He is met in the backfield and tackled for loss. That was Colin Stair with the tackle.
Well, that's that inside. We've called that a counter crisscross. That's the back in the slot. In this case, Rocco Rigney. They get all the momentum going to the right, and they try to sneak him back underneath. Colin Stair, who is typically more on the outside of the formation. You see where he's lined up there, Mike, as we stand here. He's in the middle of the formation. Coach Heckert has taken Stair from the outside, where he's a wrecking force, and put him in the middle, and has given him some special keys to be reading in there. And I'm sure it's that fullback, and that's exactly what the Cats needed to do. And that's not an adjustment they just made. That's an adjustment I think they made coming into the game.
Meyer keeps, and Drake Dawson with the tackle. And I'll tell you what, I saw that from the minute it was snapped, and it was Dane Horning blocking Drake Dawson, but Dawson reached out and grabbed to make the tackle all in one consecutive motion.
Yeah, it's a physical defense, and that's what I was curious about. I just couldn't envision as I watched the tape, as I said, that this team was going to out-physical us. They might out-scheme us. They might pop a big play here or there, but they weren't going to out-physical us. And I think when I say they might out-scheme us, I don't think they will on a regular basis. Coach Eckert know him too well, trust him too much. But then you got to physically execute, and I thought we would do that, and we are.
Meyer, gobbled up by Willie Marshall-Travis. It's a sack. It's a tackle for loss. It's fourth down.
Well, they're getting it from all places here, Mike, right? We're getting it from Drake Dawson. We're getting it from Colin Stair. We're getting it from Willie Marshall-Travis. We've seen it from Drew Freeland. We've seen Justin Bardo in there. So it's coming from everywhere on that defensive front, and that's one of those things. I've been on that other side. You've had a good season. You get into a playoff game. You feel good about yourself, and then you just run into something that's a little different than what you've seen. I think of that of the great 94 team that we had. Outstanding season, but we went down there and played Manheim Central with Matt Nagy and Dan Kreider, and it was just a little bit over our head.
Fourth down and 11. The Cocalico offense stays on the field. Meyer rolling to his right. Meyer met by Willie Marshall-Travis. Back-to-back sacks for WMT.
Yeah, they don't have play calls for this. They don't have play calls for this. It's going to have to happen for them in their basic scheme because they're not going to be able to do it otherwise. But the key is their defense. The key is their ability to stay in the game. The key is can they stop the Mechanicsburg offense from executing? Because we're at that dangerous spot. There's 3:46. That's a lot of time for the Mechanicsburg offense. And this is a big possession because Cocalico will come out. If they can find a way going into the half, down 14-3 and come out with the ball and find a score, hey, it's 14-9, it's 14-10, it's 14-11. We got a game. Cats go ahead and punch this one in. Might be a little bit different story here the rest of the evening.
So with 3:46 remaining in the first half, the Wildcat offense takes the field. 4 wide receivers. Jack DeLuca on the near side along with Drake Dawson, Josh Smith far side left. The handoff to Isaac Dolman. Dolman spins out of one tackler at the line of scrimmage, advances forward 3 or 4 yards before Dane Horning brings him down. It's going to bring up a second down and 6 for the Cats.
Yeah, we look at Isaac's stats. He had 77 rushes for 911 yards before tonight. That's quick math, somewhere around 12, 13 yards a carry. And you think it's speed, and it is speed. That's how you get big runs. And you think it's scheme or busted plays. But he is physical. He runs with his eyes. He runs and plays up inside and makes something happen. There was a play there. There wasn't a whole lot to be had. Somehow it's a 4-yard gain. Credit there to Isaac Dolman.
Brendan Mena, Jack DeLuca, Josh Smith line up to the right of Eli Ryder. Ryder readies at the line of scrimmage, 5 seconds on the play clock. It's a run to Isaac Dolman. Open spaces on the far side. Dolman run out of bounds by Josh Meyer after a gain of 25, maybe 30 yards, and it's going to be first down and 10 for the Cats in plus territory.
Yeah, outstanding block at the point of attack by the left side of the Cats offense. They obviously got that initial step. And sometimes you think it's weight, sometimes you think it's strength, sometimes you think it's pure size, but it really is technique. It's coaching. It's an offense that knows what they want to do when they want to do it. And that offensive line with those initial steps get to the point of leverage, and that's what really creates that corner for Isaac Dolman. And he clearly has the speed to make that stand up, to make that special.
Isaac Dolman near 100 yards rushing already in the first half and now over 1,000 yards on the season. Cocalico shows blitz. Ryder reads into the second level. Wide open spaces and a touchdown, 35 yards.
Outstanding play call there by Coach Frank Rubinek, because I'll tell you what happened there is it was a little bit of a run blitz in the B gap. And Cocalico's like, that's it. We're coming at you. We're coming at you because we can't sit back and catch you because you're going to get us. And great play call with that quarterback draw right up the gut. Just picked up a penalty here. The Cats did. I don't know if it's some sort of celebration, but something happened over here.
The flag comes after the touchdown, so the score will stand for Eli Ryder, his 10th rushing touchdown of the season, his second tonight. And the Cats now lead 20-3. And the official, referee Steve Kellier, having a conversation with Cocalico head coach Brian Stroll. Eli Ryder called for the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and the Wildcat fans letting this York Adams officiating crew know about it. We didn't see what he did.
Probably some sort of celebration kind of thing, I'm sure. I didn't see it, though, to be with you, Mike, there.
So the penalty will be applied on the kickoff, which should give Cocalico some pretty decent starting field position as Babiak's extra point kick is up and good. 2:46 remaining in the first half. It's Mechanicsburg 21, Cocalico 3. Back after this on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Does your property need a little TLC? Call Lawnscapes Inc. of Mechanicsburg today at 717-697-1833 and see how Wes Moret and his team can transform or maintain your residential or commercial property. From hardscapes to yard services of all types, tree and shrub surface and more, this locally owned and operated business has you covered. Call today for your free estimate. Lawnscapes Inc. 717-697-1833. That's 717-697-1833.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Back at Memorial Park, John H. Frederick Field, the Wildcats lead Cocalico 21-3. Eli Ryder has scored twice. Isaac Dolman has scored once. And the Wildcats have been heady about this Cocalico triple option offense, but they've also held their ground. And they've read their plays. They've read their coverages. They've stayed home. There's been a couple of big runs, but nothing too damning for the Wildcats.
Well, it's going to be huge here, Mike, because they are going to get this good field position. And Cats scored so quickly, 2:46. That's not a lot of time, but depending on what happens here, if Cocalico can set up somewhere outside their own 40-yard line, that's plenty of time for them to try to go down, whether they get 3 or whether they get 6, and that makes this game a little bit more interesting.
Dane Horning will field near the 40, bounces back towards midfield.
Yeah, see, I don't understand. I mean, you have the penalty, then you kick it short, and now you set them up at the 43-yard line with 2:39, and they got 2 timeouts. I understand. I know the Cats have not covered deeply well. I get that, but this is one where you can directionally kick that deep because you've got a lot of room for that ball to roll around back there.
That was Dane Bullinger with the return. So I was half right. It was a kid named Dane. It's not a super common name, let alone to have 2 kids named Dane on the same team. But the triple option, I was saying, our cameraman, Ben Shad, said this thing's driving me nutty. And I think about the days that, I've worked with play-by-play talent at the college and the professional level, and they don't run the triple option at the professional level. But I spotted a game that was Georgia Tech against Air Force. I needed a beverage after that game.
Yeah. You're trying to spot. You're spotting 3 guys at a time.
Dane Horning on the carry, gains 4, second down and 6. 2:28 remaining. Cocalico with 2 timeouts. The Cats with all 3.
Well, the other thing they're thinking is they're going to get the ball back, and so it's 2nd and 5. They don't want to use a timeout yet. They only have 2, of course. But what they don't want to do is give the ball back to the Cats before halftime. So they want to get this ball inside of, get a first down maybe before they worry about using a timeout. Let's start there.
Meyer on the quarterback keeper, cuts back towards the inside, and he is met by Drew Freeland, Willie Marshall-Travis, and also Colin Stair.
Defense is firing on all cylinders, and I love it. It's going to be a whole different ballgame next week if we're playing, right? Because it's one-dimensional. So that sucks you up, right? You don't have to play deep coverage. You're not reading schemes. You're not playing the whole field. You're playing run, and within about the first second of the play, it's right or it's left, and that's the end of the story. And then you fly to the football. So it's I don't want to say it's easy to defend. Here comes a reverse.
Epinette looking to pass as Willie Marshall-Travis grabs him. That's going to be a horse collar tackle. So it's going to be a first down for Cocalico. And Willie reached out, tried to grab him by like the back of the jersey, but I guess got his hand in a little bit into the collar, so they're going to call that horse collar, and it's going to be a first down for the Eagles.
Yeah, he's got to know it was third down, and he had pursuit up there, and you just stay on it, take 2 more steps, and don't do that. But
so 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
Big 15-yarder too.
It was, and the Wildcat fans don't like it, but that's the rule. It's player safety.
That's the right call, and credit to Willie. He's keeping his cool there. He's like, hey, okay, all right, it happened. But he has to realize he had some pursuit coming, and all he's got to do is he doesn't have to make the play. He's just got to run him into the teeth of the play. He had teammates who were coming to the rescue.
1:15 remaining in the first half. Meyer under center. Dane Horning in the backfield. Meyer barking out the signals. Epinette goes in motion, and the ball's on the carpet. Recovered by the Wildcats. Jimmy Dwyer picks up the loose bean and says, look what I found.
And that's huge because it's 1:03 with 3 timeouts. Here we go, Cats. Dial it up. See if you can get a 4th score on the board here before we go to the locker rooms. And if you can, then Cocalico's coming out down perhaps better part of 4 scores. And that really starts to suck the life out of him a little bit.
And a great play by Jimmy Dwyer to be able to pick up that ball and flip the momentum of things. Almost fitting, though, because the Cats maybe would have gotten the ball back anyway around about this spot if not for that horse collar tackle. So 1st down and 10, 70 yards from pay dirt. Nathan Babiak's got a pretty good leg, so maybe the Cats can pick up 30 or 40 of this 70 as Isaac Dolman catches it in the flat coming out of the backfield. No timeout yet by the Cats. They're in hurry-up mode. And now a timeout has been called.
Yeah, they've got 3. Right? It's 52 seconds. Obviously, you get a first down. That's going to stop the clock. You get out of bounds to stop the clock. So you got to take that one there. That thing right there probably saved them. I mean, they could have maybe taken it 5 more seconds sooner, but it still probably saved them another 10 seconds till they lined up, got their play in, and executed it. So good use of timeout there by Coach Eckerd. See if they can get a first down or get out of bounds here on this next play. And if they get a first down, you're out near midfield. You're going to be somewhere around 45 seconds, 44 seconds, and you still got 2 timeouts.
We've talked a lot about the kids all season long, Dave, as we should. And you mentioned Frank Rubinek every now and then, but I don't know that we've said enough about Dave Heckard in his first year with the Wildcats. Undefeated, a conference championship. Now, he inherited a pretty good cupboard of ingredients from head coach Anthony Rose, but you still have to be able to cook and make something special with those ingredients that you've been given. And he took a team that had a lot of promise and talent coming out of last year. The Cats have won 13 games in a row dating back to last year, and he's been able to take that talent and take it to the next level.
Yeah, there's no doubt there was talent here. Everybody knew there was talent here. They finished with 3 straight wins last year, finished at 500. The difference, and we saw it early in the game, early in the season, and Mike, we didn't talk maybe about Coach Eckerd by name, but we talked about not you wasting timeouts. We talked about not false starts. We talked not about 12 men on the field. There's a lot of little things that the Cats did early on in the season that reflected preparation and reflected a more refined execution that the Cats had. And so I think that, we know it was not direct, was a compliment to Coach Eckerd.
Rylan Jenkins forces a fumble that Isaac Dolman recovers, so the Cats in a bit of a hurry up, but maybe a little less so. Now it's all about getting out of here without giving up points. As that shotgun snap hits the carpet and Ryder steps up in the pocket. So I think if you're Coach Eckerd at this point, you just let that clock wind and you head to the locker room, although it looks like Cocalico has called timeout because it's 4th down, and they're thinking, hey, maybe if the Wildcats punt, we could take it back, we could block it. And they did this exact thing last week in Hershey with under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. They blocked a Hershey punt, and it was Thomas DeToli, the senior defensive lineman, that took it in for 6. So they've got a punt block in them.
Well, it's not just a punt block. You get to this level, you usually have better coaching. They have a better concept of game management. And this, you can't take these timeouts with you. If you watch Mechanicsburg, the flip side of scoring 38 points a game, Mike, is you don't kick the football too often. Well, when you don't kick the football too often, your snap is not the same. Your punter's not, it's not a well-oiled machine. And we saw that down at Northern that led to points, and I'm sure they've seen that film down there. So is the snap going to be good? Is the reception by the punter going to be good? Are they going to get the kickoff, and are they going to cover the punt? There's 4 things the kicking team has to do that he just made that happen with that timeout.
Well, your long snapper is Tristan Wolf, at least on paper. He's been the rostered long snapper all season long. Eli Ryder is the punter. Now, it looks like Ryder in a bit of a shorter punt formation, maybe not the traditional 15 yards. Drake Dawson, the up back. And the punt, a low liner, but it's a spiral fielded by Braden Epinette. And Epinette stiff arms J.J. Gould, but he holds on and brings him down.
Should be a penalty going back against Cocalico too, but great play there by J.J. Gould to make that tackle. And I liked what the Cats did. Keep it short because of the reasons I'm talking. We don't want to sail a punt. We don't want to drop the punt snap. And we know Eli's made plenty of those kicks over the course of the season, those short kicks, and over the course of his career when he's needed to. So well executed by the Cats. That's back to that, Mike. That's coaching. That is coaching. It's being prepared. You're not scrambling around. You don't need a timeout. You just take care of business. You execute it, and here we go.
And there was a block in the back called against Cocalico. So, any hope that Coach Stroll may have had to try to have a big return, make something happen before the end of the half, I think he'd be content with just taking a knee, heading to the locker room, knowing you have possession to start the second half, and that you're down 21-3.
Yeah, no, if you're the Cats and you dialed this up and said you can have a 18-point lead, 21-3 at half, no matter who gets the ball second half, no matter how you happen, you'd sign up for it. You'd take it every day of the week.
So Cocalico comes to the line of scrimmage. Josh Meyer takes the snap, takes a knee, and that will do it for the first half. We're going to check in with our friends at Operation Wildcat here at halftime. Come back with the second half of this postseason matchup. Mechanicsburg leading Cocalico 21-3. We'll be back in a bit on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Locally owned and operated, 11 Oaks Farms raises Wagyu beef and heritage breed pork right here in Newville, Pennsylvania. Our low-stress practices and carefully designed diets produce some of the finest meats you will ever experience. We also offer a selection of quality Angus beef, pork, chicken, seasonings, sauces, pantry items, and much more. Shop online at 11oaksfarms.com. Visit us in-store at 34 North Corporation Street in Newville or call 717-360-8249.
I needed a change in my life. I wanted to be closer to my grandchildren. I was not hearing what the kids were saying. I fly hot air balloons and I couldn't hear leaks. It was time to take care of my hearing. As soon as I met Marianne at Renewed Hearing Solutions, she made me feel so comfortable. My life has improved so much since I got hearing aids. It was the best thing I've ever done. I would highly recommend Renewed Hearing Solutions.
Get back in the conversation. Call Renewed Hearing Solutions today.
Snappers Bar and Grill at 120 East Allen Street in Mechanicsburg is proud to support Wildcat Athletics. Snappers is open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. and offers outstanding service and exceptional food and drink options, all at a fair price. Stop in for fresh seafood, delicious hand-cut steaks, and homemade pasta dishes. Snappers also offers a variety of sandwiches, fresh, crisp salads, and awesome appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or have your next big gathering catered. Snappers Bar and Grill. Call 717-697-9475 to learn more.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Seth Gardner for your personal price plan today.
Operation Wildcat is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to pool the resources in our community to help our school district students, families, and staff members in need. We'll take your new or gently used back-to-school items, bikes, books, clothing, dresses and suits, furniture, Halloween costumes, gifts for the holiday, Christmas tree decorations, pennies, socks, underwear, Thanksgiving food, toothbrushes and toothpaste, and yard sale items. Learn more at OperationWildcat.org and go Wildcats.
Craig was in the Rockies and had to cut his ski trip short because he was having severe knee pain.
Lauren came in, she was really discouraged. She had tried 3 months of therapy, nothing was working. She really wanted to get back to volleyball.
We found that he had severe arthritis in both knees and his hip.
She needed shoulder arthroscopy with slap and posterior labral repair.
Simultaneous bilateral total knee replacements.
6 months of recovery, and Lauren's back, happy as ever.
3 months after his final surgery, Craig sent us pictures of him skiing the Rocky Mountains. And that's what makes our job here at OSS Health so fulfilling.
Elevate your everyday with the Mechanicsburg Area Recreation Department. Immerse yourself in a world of excitement and discovery. From adrenaline-pumping sports to serene outdoor escapes, we've got your perfect recreation blend. Join us for fitness, family fun, and fantastic experiences. Unleash your inner adventurer. It's time for a thrilling escape. Visit mbgsd.org and click on the Recreation tab, or drop by our office at the Trails and Trees Environmental Center, Mechanicsburg Area Recreation, where every moment is a new adventure.
Inventory levels are back at the Bobby Rahal Auto Group, where honesty, selection, and great prices meet. We never priced vehicles over MSRP and never will. Come visit us today and drive away with your dream car at a great value. Bobby Rahal Automotive Group, your trusted destination for the best vehicles and exceptional service. Online at bobbyrahal.com.
The Turnbridge Group at RBC Wealth Management are proud supporters of Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. When you're faced with tough business, personal, and financial decisions, turn to the Turnbridge Group. They specialize in retirement planning and complex financial situations as their team helps you define and attain your goals, all while building a strong and caring relationship with you. Advisors Tim Engel, Jonathan Stow, and Nick Hansen are available for your call today. The Turnbridge Group, part of the community and for the community. Visit them online at turnbridgegroup.com or call 717-724-4225.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Halftime continues on GoMechanicsburg.com. Halftime presented by our friends at Operation Wildcat. We'll get you back to the Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth in just a bit. But as we roll through the postseason, we have a bonus opportunity to connect with our friends at Operation Wildcat. So we welcome in Maureen Ross. She's the Vice President of Operation Wildcat, and she's also a project chair with Project Yard Sale and is checking in this week to talk about Project Furniture and all the benefits of their great warehouse. Maureen, how you doing?
Very good. How are you?
Doing all right, thank you. So we know that the yard sale is in the rear view. You do it twice a year, but you just had your fall yard sale. How did that go?
It was phenomenal. It was our best ever. $20,340+. So we thank everybody in the community for donating. We thank everybody who came out, and keep donating because we're getting ready for the April sale in 2025.
Do you have the dates for that April yard sale yet?
April 25th and 26th, same location at McBick.
At McBick, and you can learn more at operationwildcat.org. But in order to have items for the yard sale, you need people to donate. So how do we go about donating to, first of all, support the yard sale? We'll start there.
Supporting the yard sale, we take your yard sale donations every weekend, Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. It's at our warehouse, which is 507 North York Street, Mechanicsburg, in the rear, dock door 1. We'll gladly take your donations at that time.
And what all kinds of items are accepted at the warehouse?
There's a whole listing. If you actually go onto our website, you'll see the items we don't take, but we pretty much take your basic yard sale items. And in addition to that, as a segue into furniture and housewares, you may also donate furniture items. We ask for pictures ahead of time to make sure we have room for the furniture. But housewares, pots and pans, bedding, towels, everything to give a family a home. We get many families that come with nothing, and when they leave our warehouse, they have enough items to basically fill their home.
So your generosity, and by you, I mean the community's generosity helps power many other district families, and that's where the yard sale money comes into play and where the community donations come into play. Now, it's important to remember two things about donations. First of all, clothing goes to the middle school, but secondly, I understand that you guys really don't want people dropping off items outside of warehouse hours, correct?
Correct. We have to be good stewards of the location we're at. There's other businesses in there. We have our set hours. There is a sign up with my phone number right on it. If we're not open and you need to donate, call me or text me and I'll get a volunteer over to meet you. But yes, we can't take the donations when we are not open. It's not fair to be in the way of the other businesses. So thank you for that plug. Thank you.
Absolutely. The warehouse address one more time, Maureen?
507 North York Street. We're in the rear of the building at dock door 1, Saturdays and Sundays from 1 to 3 p.m.
Okay, so you mentioned furniture. You mentioned some larger items. We wanted to talk about project furniture a little bit. Let's pull the curtain back, if you will. Open the door. Tell us about project furniture and what all it does.
Project furniture gives families basic needs from beds to dressers, sofas, kitchen table and chairs, lamps, all the basic items you need to get a home set up. Due to the space limitations we have, we ask that pictures are sent ahead of time so that we know if we have space and we know if it's an item that can reasonably go into a family's home. We always take metal bed frames. We always take tall dressers. We can't keep those in. Other items we might have to limit on a case-by-case basis until it goes out the door. Then we have room for the next one. So we ask for pictures ahead of time, not just to show up with the furniture. We want to make sure that we have the room and that it's the right item for our family.
So if I have a furniture item that I'm looking to donate, but I maybe don't have a truck to get it there, how can I get my item to your warehouse?
By contacting me ahead of time. We agree that it's a great item for us to have at the warehouse, and then we set up our volunteers with the schedule, and we will come and pick it up in our Operation Wildcat truck. We will gladly do that for items because we understand people don't have ways to transport when they have smaller vehicles. We'll gladly do that.
And is it fair to say that that same policy would be in effect if I'm a family in the district that needs an item and I identify something that you have that would be great for us, but again, don't have a truck, can't get it to me?
By all means, that's what we have our truck for. Our truck is always doing pickups and deliveries. We try to schedule. Sometimes we can pick an item up and drop it off 5 minutes later to the family. By all means, that's what we utilize our truck for, making move-in dates good for our families and giving them what they need to make their house a home.
Very exciting to hear about the success of the yard sale that we just had, the fact that the April one is on the schedule in 2025, and of course, project furniture. Now, I know you guys have a couple of other projects that you're executing here with the holiday season upon us. Is there anything anybody can do for Operation Wildcat with regards to any of your holiday-themed projects?
Sure, we're collecting donations for Thanksgiving, Project Gift Box we're collecting. Basically, if you go on the Operation Wildcat website, you can get all the information you need. And if you need more information, there's contact names and contact information for those people who chair those committees.
Perfect. Anything else you'd like to add, Maureen?
Thank you very much for all the support we've had through the years. It's wonderful, and we hope to keep it going. Thank you.
Thank you very much. OperationWildcat.org, the website to learn everything about all things Operation Wildcat. We're going to take a break, come back, kick off the second half from Memorial Park and John H. Frederick Field on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Locally owned and operated, 11 Oaks Farms raises Wagyu beef and heritage breed pork right here in Newville, Pennsylvania. Our low-stress practices and carefully designed diets produce some of the finest meats you will ever experience. We also offer a selection of quality Angus beef, pork, chicken, seasonings, sauces, pantry items, and much more. Shop online at 11oaksfarms.com. Visit us in-store at 34 North Corporation Street in Newville or call 717-360-8249.
So I stopped in at Chick-fil-A for lunch and saw Officer Wilson come in. I decided to place a dine-in mobile order and have a cookie delivered to him just to show appreciation for his service for our community.
A few minutes later, I noticed that Officer Wilson had gotten up and left, and I knew he hadn't gotten his cookie yet.
I'm headed to my car. I turn around and I see Allie, and she's running after me.
Mr. Police Officer, Mr. Police Officer.
Usually when someone yells, officer, officer, they want to ask me about a ticket they got. I absolutely wanted the cookie. This cookie is delicious.
Grocery outlet, bargain market.
Name brand at this price? Is this for real?
Not exactly. That's Bargain Bliss setting in. You're basking in the glow of name brand beauty products at shockingly low prices.
Oh, that's so refreshing.
There's nothing like a little me time.
Grocery outlet, bargain market.
Just one more minute.
Does your property need a little TLC? Call Lawnscapes Inc. of Mechanicsburg today at 717-697-1833 and see how Wes Moret and his team can transform or maintain your residential or commercial property. From hardscapes to yard services of all types, tree and shrub service and more, this locally owned and operated business has you covered. Call today for your free estimate. Lawnscapes Inc. at 717-697-1833. That's 717-697-1833.
We are dedicated to serving our members, associates, and communities because they give us purpose. We know we are stronger when we come together as one. We believe financial literacy is a key tool for personal well-being, economic stability, and a more secure financial future for everyone. And we are committed to providing all with access to financial wellness resources. We strive to deliver unparalleled experiences for our members through every moment and milestone. We are built by will, forged by people, and powered by a proud member experience.
This is you. And this is us. Hi, we're True Green. We're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. That means we'll give you a pro-level lawn guaranteed. That's a satisfaction guarantee. That's a price match guarantee. That's a guarantee on top of your guarantee. So you can do less of this and more of this.
Walters & Galloway Attorneys at Law is your hometown law firm and devotes a significant part of their practice to estate planning, estate administration, elder law, real estate law, family law, and more. Let their expert team help you sell, purchase, or refinance your home too. Their team can work to prepare your will, trust, power of attorney, or aid in the estate care of a loved one. With 2 convenient Mechanicsburg office locations, you can learn more and make an appointment today by visiting them online at waltersgalloway.com or call 717-697-4700.
I'm liking what I'm seeing out here, guys. Speed and precision. This is the type of hustle I'm looking for. That championship level effort. This is where all of our training pays off.
You know, most homeowners just check in on us now and then.
Every West Shore home installer is a highly trained employee that can stand up to scrutiny from anyone.
Let's go do this!
The Wildcat Foundation is Mechanicsburg Area School District's education foundation. Established in 1998, the foundation raises and distributes funds that support students in education, wellness, cultural awareness, and athletics. The Wildcat Foundation has also awarded hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships to support students' higher education. Learn more and donate today at wildcatfoundation.org. Wolf Brewing Company in Mechanicsburg, established in 2021 as a family and pet-friendly social experience, offers food and drink options for the community from the community. Family owned by Wildcat graduates, Wolf Brewing Company is just off South Market Street in the all-new Legacy Park. Stop in before, during, or after the game for food crafted from the freshest local ingredients, plus many award-winning drinks made on site. Wolf Brewing Company, 100 Legacy Park Drive, Suite 400, online at wolfbrewingco.com or call 717-590-7917.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville and GoMechanicsburg.com.
Welcome back to Memorial Park. John H. Frederick Field, Mike Garland, Dave Harris, and you were hanging out in the Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. Tonight's game presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. And we have to thank our friends at Chick-fil-A at Shepherdstown Crossing. They are the official press box meal provider of Wildcat Athletics. And how many of those Chick-fil-A sandwiches did you have?
I didn't know there were any tonight, Mike. It seemed like everybody else was eating them, but no, I didn't get one tonight. Okay. But I've had plenty this season, so thank you.
I had 2. I have to thank the crew at Chick-fil-A. They always take care of us, and it's been a great partnership. So, we have a couple of places that serve food that are part of our portfolio of partners. Wolf Brewing Company, Snappers Bar and Grill, Chick-fil-A. We thank them. We thank all of our great local businesses. And we thank you for tuning in and making what we do viable. And whether you're a Cocalico fan tuning in tonight and seeing what we do for the first time, or you're a Mechanicsburg fan that has been with us since the last time the Wildcats were in the playoffs in 2020, we thank you as well. And as the Wildcats sojourn through the next 24 minutes of football action, what do they need to do? More points are good. But do you want to score more, or do you just want to hold?
Nah, Mike, come on. It's the playoffs here. Every week's going to get tougher and tougher. We don't want to count our chickens before they hatch. But if we move on the next week to McDevitt's got 35 points in the first half. We aren't going to be up by 18 points next week. I don't think we'll be up by. I'm not saying I think we can beat McDevitt. I really do. but I don't know that we're going to be up 21-3 at the halftime. I don't know that we'll be up 1-3 at halftime the rest of the season. You play every play the same way. You execute every play the same way. As the season grows longer, every play gets maximized in its value, and the result of the plays actually get reduced because you're playing better defenses, you're playing better offenses. So no, you go out. This for the Cats right now. This is just another game. This is no different than anything else we've seen the last 10 weeks, but it's going to change soon.
It really is, and McDevitt is up 35-0 at the half against Conrad Weiser. Conrad Weiser was the number 3 seed, also 10-0. Conrad Weiser had given this Cocalico team one of their 3 losses. And the interesting thing, I saw last week, maybe 2 weeks ago on social media, Eli Ryder had pushed out some of his stats from a recruiting standpoint. I didn't truly realize until I saw it on paper, the Wildcat starters have only played 28 of the 40 quarters through 10 weeks. Now, I think you might see them on the field for 3.5 quarters tonight. Maybe they play the whole game tonight. But the starters playing a full game is not something we've seen a ton of this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's 21-3, but I tell you what, Cocalico's going to get the ball. We know the offense. They're going to run the same thing. There's nothing different, but they've executed it so well, and not just this season, 10 games, right? You look at the statistics for Meyer, for Horning, for Epinette. They've run this well for several years. And so, we could be sitting here in 2 minutes. This is a 21-10 ball game. You get a turnover, you get a stop. Next thing you know, it's a 21-17 ball game. So a lot of football left. Right, it seems like the Cats are dialing up all the right things, and they are, and they got a nice lead. But really, it's this third quarter. This is what it comes down to. This is the season for Cocalico. Can they hang close? Can they get some plays? Can they put the Cats a little bit on the ropes and make them a little wobbly before they close out the game, or not?
Nathan Babiak boots it through the end zone, so Cocalico will have the ball first down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. A big kick by Babiak, but it's also very blustery here at Memorial Park and John H. Frederick Field. It's not cold per se, but it is feeling more fall-esque as the night goes on.
Yeah, this is the first night where being inside the press box is protecting us from a little bit from those elements. You're right. The air temperature's not cold, but with the breeze out there, it's a chilly night.
First down and 10 for Cocalico. First play from scrimmage in the second half. Josh Meyer under center. And it's a run, and the handoff goes to Dane Horning, and Horning gains 1. Second down and 9.
That's when you know you've prepared your kids well, right? There's nothing surprising them. So they've got guys who are committed to the fullback, and they're making the plays every time. You got guys committed to the quarterback, they're making the plays every time. The difference is you do have fewer guys committed to the pitch man, and so they've got to be sure-handed tacklers out there. They just haven't gotten out there too much tonight.
Second and 9. Rigney goes in motion, and a whistle as a flag is thrown, and a pre-snap flag, encroachment the call against the Wildcats. So that's not something you want to do, and throughout the rest of this game, that's a coachable moment. You can't be giving away freebies like that.
Well, especially there, because it's not something they haven't done tonight. All they did was put the wing back in motion, and so someone's a little amped up, someone's a little excited. That's a sign of aggression. That's a good thing. But, yeah, you got to get that under control. Be disciplined, read your keys, stay at home.
Second down and 4 following the penalty. Epinette in motion. The handoff to Horning. He spins out of one would-be tackler still on his feet, and Noah Apple and Drake Dawson converge.
Well, I'll tell you what I loved about that was actually, and Drake Dawson certainly was in there, but actually the initial hit was from Jack DeLuca, and then Noah Apple throwing him to the ground. So we're so used to talking about these linebackers. We're used to talking about these defenses. It's nice to see, two, I think they're both juniors there, if I'm not mistaken, DeLuca and Apple playing some physical football there in the second level.
First down and 10. That was a run to move the chains for Cocalico. Meyer under center. Horning, the single back in the backfield. And it's a reverse. The ball's on the carpet, a fumble. And Jack DeLuca, along with Colin Stair, converge on the tackle. That ball had been pitched around and ultimately tossed the way of David Betts, and he couldn't handle it.
Well, they were running a reverse pass, and so I believe it was 25 there. Connor Horning heading right down the middle of the field. I picked it up late because I was actually watching the bad exchange and seeing if the pressure could get there. Seemed like Dolman was with him, but I'm not. I can't say that for sure. He might have had a step on him, so Cocalico may have caught the Cats in a little bit of trickery there. But at the end of the day, the Cats executed and made a big play for a loss.
Meyer under center. Dane Horning the single back in the backfield. Epinette goes in motion, and Willie Marshall-Travis brings Dane Horning down. Josh Meyer and Dane Horning connected with each other there before the handoff. A little bit of a collision, I think, may have messed up the timing there on that play.
Well, it's the mesh point, and the quarterback in that triple option, he's going to put his hand in there and ride. So there's actually going to be constant contact, Mike, until he decides to release or decides to pull the ball. And you want to hold that as long as you can before you make your decision, because Willie keeps, in that case, Willie Marshall-Travis keeps his eye on the fullback. If the quarterback had pulled it, he'd have been running free.
Rocco Rigney, Dane Bullinger split to the right of Meyer. Horning, the single back in the backfield. Meyer passing. Pressure in the pocket. Colin Stair giving chase. And that pass is incomplete. Couple of intended Eagles in the vicinity, including David Betts along with Dane Bullinger. And it was over the head of Betts and just a little short of Bullinger, and it's going to bring up fourth down at about 19. And
what we saw here, and I talked to you a little bit, Mike, I said, they're going to stick with their offense. It's what they got, and maybe they can make a game of this. But they got away from it a little bit with the reverse pass, to be honest with you, and it set them way behind the sticks, got them out of their offense, and they have to throw the ball. And that's not something that they're going to want to do. We've already seen them throw the ball, I think, 5 times. Well, throw the ball 4 times tonight, but design, even with the fumbled exchange back there, it was really 5 pass plays called. So not what they want to be doing. I thought they'd stick with their scheme at least one more series before resorting to trying to throw the ball.
Populous' punt will roll into Wildcat territory and be down at around the 42-yard line. Downing it for the Eagles, Jeremiah Rathman. So first down and 10 for the Cats with only about 60 yards to go for touchdown number 4.
Yeah, this is where we see if we have a true game or not here. It's still plenty of time. 18 points is really a field goal, which they have a good kicker, and 2 touchdowns, right, with 2-point conversion. So, if they can get a 3 and out, if they can get a turnover, we're settling in here a little bit. We'll see what's going to happen. I think if the Cats can take this, whether a short drive or a long drive, and cash in, we might, that might let us know that we're on the back end of this game.
The winds continue to swirl here in Memorial Park. Josh Smith goes in motion, now back the other way. Smith catches the pass coming out of the backfield around the far side, and he's got sideline coming back across the middle and speed to burn. Josh Smith to the 20-yard line. The chains will move, and there's an injured Cocalico Eagle down at the 30, writhing in pain, and that is quarterback Josh Meyer as Meyer pops back up. But a beautiful pitch and catch, some misdirection with the motion, and then Josh Smith does what Josh Smith does. Do we have a flag? I see it now back at the 41-yard line, back near the line of scrimmage. So they're going to get the Cats for a hold?
There was something out there at the point of attack.
Yep. Brendan Mena called for the infraction.
Yeah, I saw the collision out there. I don't know how they decide when to call it, when not to call it. That's not to say it wasn't a penalty. I think it probably was. But sometimes at that mesh point, the defender's spinning, and they don't call it a block in the back. Other times they do. Maybe it was blatant. I don't know. I didn't get a good look at it. But it was on the far side, and unfortunately it brings us all the way back. So that injury, though, will be interesting to see if we see him back out there, defense or on offense, of course.
For the Wildcats, again, their first postseason game since a 2020 road trip to Governor Mifflin. Playoffs in 2019, a loss to Warwick. Ryder on the quarterback keeper. Ryder into the second level, gets back the penalty yardage and then some, a gain of maybe 20 yards.
Well, what I love about the calls that Coach Rubin's making, he's seeing what they're doing, and that's a sign of how much talent the Cats have. They're spreading them out, and Cocalico's trying to take everything away, and defensively, you have a decision. Are we going to try to take everything away, which rarely can you, or what are we going to take away? Well, right now they're still trying to cover everybody, and you can understand why. We've seen Dawson with a nice play. Obviously, we know DeLuca's there. They've seen him on film. Noah Apple, obviously, you got to pay attention to Josh Smith. You got Isaac Dolman, and that's what leaves Eli Ryder free running up the middle of the field.
2nd down and 5. Josh Smith will go in motion. A fake, a screen, and just a little bit high. Eli Ryder had Isaac Dolman wide open, but that screen pass just a smidge high.
Great call, and, of course, to the wide side of the field. While I don't know that the blocking was set up perfect, there were linemen ready to get in position. I don't doubt the ability of Isaac Dolman either to outrun the defense or to know how to use his speed and his cuts, his shiftiness to set up blocks. That has the potential for a really big play, Mike.
It's going to be 3rd down and 5. Jack DeLuca has already broken the huddle. He is on the near side at the 45. Drake Dawson about a yard off to his left. Josh Smith, Brendan Mena on the far side left with Isaac Dolman in the backfield. Eli Ryder on the quarterback keeper. And look at that speed through the front line and into the second level. The chains are going to move. 1st down and 10 Wildcats. Braden Epinet with the tackle.
Well, that's something we've long seen at the collegiate level, but now we're seeing it at all 3 levels of high school football is the ability of the quarterback to run the ball and that extra dimension that defenses just struggle to account for. It's one thing to account for it like the Cats have to tonight in the triple option or even in a double option offense where it's part of your regular reads. We're not an option team, so we're spreading it out. And we're running it, we're screening it, we're hitching it, we're throwing it down the field, and it just leaves Eli unaccounted for so many times in the defense.
Josh Smith scheme. On the reception, and Noah Apple with a block that springs Smith forward for a gain of 6, 2nd down and 4.
Looks like Josh Meyer is back out there, Mike. I think that's a big point here, not just in terms of him being back out there defensively, but if there is going to be any kind of comeback for Cocalico tonight, you can't take someone like Josh Meyer, who's got 2,500 career rushing yards, off of the offense and think that it's going to be a difference maker, right? In a positive way for Cocalico. It's going to hurt them, but he's back out there, and we'll see.
7 seconds on the play clock. 2nd down and 5 for the Cats. Play clock under 3 as Dolman takes the handoff, and Isaac Dolman's not going to be able to turn the corner on Dane Bullinger. And a loss of 1 or 2. And, back to talking about Josh Meyer, him being on the field, his value. We saw it in Week 10 with Shippensburg when their quarterback, Brady Majeski, was not on the field. And that was something that Coach Faust at Shippensburg wasn't accounting for, in that the injury to Majeski had happened just the day before that Week 10 game. So when you take that leader out, when you take someone out that's such an important part of your offense, it really can mess with the game plan. So good to see Meyer back on the field.
Yeah, no, it's certainly definitely a factor. You're starting quarterback regardless of statistics, regardless of record.
3rd down and 9 following the loss. Josh Smith will go in motion. And Ryder on the design quarterback keeper. He's going to be just short of the line to gain, so I expect this to be 4-down territory as Dane Bullinger makes the tackle. It's going to be 4th down and 1.
Yeah, they're starting to shoot some gaps. I'm not sure how they weren't offsides there, Mike, the way I looked at that. Either he was offsides or he just timed it perfectly coming up the right-hand side. That might have been Horning, who's all over the place, obviously. Horning's got 2,200 career rushing yards coming in tonight, according to the stats they provided us. And they also show him with having something crazy like
105 tackles this season.
Oh, yeah, and 252 for his career. So
he knows how to find the football.
He certainly likes to play, and he finds his way into almost every play, offensively and defensively.
Cats passing on 4th and 1, and Jack DeLuca hauls it in. Hit at the point of reception, but he holds on. Chase Brenneman.
That's a huge play right there, Mike. I mean, it's understated. I don't know that I realized it was 4th and 1. They came out pretty quickly, 4 spread, nonchalant, and we haven't seen DeLuca missed some games throughout the season. He was injured, and we haven't seen them go to him a whole lot. We know he's a good receiver, but that's what this team can do, right? He is way down the scouting report on 4th and 1. You're taking all kinds of other things away. You're taking Dolman away, and you're taking Smith away. You're trying to take Ryder away. You might be taking Dawson away. And there he is catching that ball, and it's a nice sure-handed catch.
So many weapons. Eli Ryder, far side Josh Smith, and he was trying to throw it to a spot, and Josh Smith just couldn't get there. You saw that burst of speed from Smitty right towards the end trying to run under it. That was a timing play, and I think Josh Smith was bumped on the way to that near side pylon, and it just screwed up the timing.
Well, that and we've had some lopsided games. Regardless what the final scores say, Shippensburg was not a close game. It was a 42-point game, essentially. Hershey was a 42-point game. They left guys in on the field against our twos late in the game. These, you're not as crisp. I mean, you might execute certain things well, but the timing things, the tight windows, they're harder. They're different.
Well, the Wildcats have scored 107 points in the second half, and many of those came from the starters playing into the third quarter. But this second half tonight is a little bit different than any of the previous 10 second halves that we've seen here.
Well, you're arguably facing the best team you've played, right? I know it's 21-3, which seems a little bit lopsided. This is the best team you've played. This is the second round of playoffs. This team is 8-3. I think 7-3 regular season and won a playoff game.
Justin Bardo split left for the Wildcats, and a whistle. And it was a hitch and pitch this time around from Dolman to Josh Smith. So there was either a timeout, or they wouldn't have called throwing the flag, so they called motion on the Cats, as they tried something a little bit different with Bardo out there. Usually he's the recipient of the hitch and pitch. This time around, it was going to be Dolman to Josh Smith with Bardo as a lead blocker.
Yes, shades of Penn State and the Cocalico there in terms of putting the linemen out wide and running some of the crazy formations. Those things are good, though. They're good to put on film. Other teams have to prepare for them, and obviously you can run multiple things off of them. And we've seen the Cats do them a few times this season with success, and other times kind of just get out of it just to give other teams something to think about. So, there's a whole chess match to this game of football, especially when you have the personnel to go with the X's and O's.
So the Cats will send 4 receivers to the left. Now 2 of them come back the other way. Either a little confusion or they're feigning confusion with 3 seconds on the play clock. Ryder takes the snap with 1 second. Far side corner deep. It is caught. Noah Apple. Touchdown, Wildcats.
And there were 2 guys there ready to catch it, and they both could have caught it. The inside receiver, Apple, goes up and gets it, but Jack DeLuca was ready to run right underneath it himself.
A 28-yard touchdown pass. Eli Ryder's first touchdown pass of the night. And for Noah Apple, not his first touchdown of the year, but his first in a while. And for Apple, for Isaac Dolman, it's got to be very special for both of those young men to score tonight.
It is. And, again, you come back and time and again, everybody thinks the team is purely the superstars. And Josh Smith and Eli Ryder just stand out. But we know Isaac Dolman has been right there with them all night, all season long. But the reality is they got other playmakers. They've got other playmakers. And it's not even about their physical ability. It's about what's between the ears. It's about seeing it and believing it. And that's something that happens when you get to this point in the season. That's something when you got a coaching staff that knows how to maximize that. So, well done by the Cats.
3:01 remaining in the third quarter, 28-3 Mechanicsburg. Back after this on GoMechanicsburg.com.
We are dedicated to serving our members, associates, and communities because they give us purpose. We know we are stronger when we come together as one. We believe financial literacy is a key tool for personal well-being, economic stability, and a more secure financial future for everyone. And we are committed to providing all with access to financial wellness resources. We strive to deliver unparalleled experiences for our members through every moment and milestone. We are built by will, forged by people, and powered by a proud member experience.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Eli Ryder to Noah Apple, 28 yards, and the Cats have 28 points, leading the Cocalico Eagles 28-3 with 3 minutes, 1 second remaining in the third quarter. Another out-of-town score of note, Conestoga Valley leading Shippensburg 21-6. That game in the third quarter. That's the other half of the bracket. And the other game in the other half of that bracket is Exeter and New Oxford. And I'll try to find a score for us on that one in just a bit as well. Babiak's kickoff end over end taken by Josh Meyer, and a reverse that really goes nowhere. The play makes it to the 20-yard line. The ball ended up in the hands of Braden Epinet. So first down and 10 for Cocalico following the short kickoff return.
Well, now we find out here, right? We find out, Cocalico, a decent team, 8-3, putting up 21 points a game. But I know they've lost 3 games. They lost to New Oxford 21-0 first game of the season. But I don't know they've been down 25 points at any point. And we'll see what that does to their offense, because it certainly doesn't fit the scheme that they want to be running.
First down and 10 for the Eagles. The ball in their own 20. Epinette goes in motion, and the handoff to Horning. Gains 4, maybe 5 yards. And that Exeter-New Oxford score is 14-7 Exeter near the end of the third quarter. So Exeter is the 8 seed, New Oxford the number 1 seed, and right now the Eagles up over the Colonials in the third. Second down and 5. Meyer under center. Epinette in motion. Horning takes the handoff. And a gain of 3. Third down and 2.
Yeah, at this point, if you're Mechanicsburg, right, you don't have to drop them for a loss every time. What you just have to do is hold them to 3 or 4 yards of play, because that might yield a score, but it ain't going to yield 3 scores with only about 13 minutes left in this football game. What you have to guard against is the reverse, the counter crisscross, the halfback pass. They're bringing in a big lineman. They like to put this guy in motion sometimes here, the 71. I saw that a couple times on tape. Derek Belzins, it looks like. They put him out in a wing, and they bring him and try to run behind him a little bit.
Likely 4-down territory as the big man does go in motion. He's the lead blocker, and Meyer is gobbled up in the backfield by Justin Bardo.
Well, and that's where I come back to it. I'm not a coach anymore, and I don't watch a whole lot. But the tendencies there, the scouting reports there, and so the Cats knew, hey, follow that motion man. So now if you're Cocalico, you got 4th and short, I'd put him in that motion again. You bring him across. Now you do something else off of that and see if the Cats are staying at home and playing it honest, or if they're cheating and taking the bait. So he's sending him back in there. We'll see what we get this time.
A loss of 1 on the play. We are under 1 minute remaining in this third quarter. Mechanicsburg, the number 2 seed coming in. Cocalico, the number 7 seed. Cocalico with a win last week against Hershey. The Wildcats had a first-round bye by virtue of being the 2nd seed. That play, contact at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be very close to a first down. I'm not sure they get it.
They don't get it. Doesn't even reach the 30 stripe.
That was a carry by Horning, and met by a host of Wildcat tacklers, a turnover on downs, and just like that, Cocalico immediately with their backs against the wall.
Yeah, I mean, I respect the decision there. You can question play call. I just don't know what else they have. You win, and sometimes you win by the sword, you die by the sword, right? It's just the way it goes. I've been a part of coaching staffs where our team, all we could, we just ran the ball exceptionally well. And when that got taken from us, we were limited. I've had teams where we exclusively threw the ball. And when you just weren't connected that day, or it was a windy day, or it was a wet day, or something wasn't there, that's what you had. Obviously, what's so great about the Cats this year, and what gives you high hopes for going forward the next couple weeks, they're balanced. They can run and they can pass.
Ryder going to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Noah Apple! 29 yards.
Beautiful, beautiful. Step right on him. Step right on the throat there. That's what you do. You got a turnover. In this case, a turnover and downs on the plus side of the field. You go right there. He blew right past him. Second touchdown for Noah Apple.
Well, we see the jubilation from the Wildcats as Apple scores from 29 out with 34 seconds remaining. Ryder to Apple for the second time tonight. And Babiak readies for the extra point. The wind blowing across the field. The snap, the hold, the kick is up. And it is through. It hits one of the pipes holding up the catch net for lacrosse in front of the Rich Lichtel Fieldhouse with 34.2 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It's Mechanicsburg 35, Cocalico 3, and some folks are starting to head to the exits on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Craig was in the Rockies and had to cut his ski trip short because he was having severe knee pain.
Lauren came in, she was really discouraged. She had tried 3 months of therapy, nothing was working. She really wanted to get back to volleyball.
We found that he had severe arthritis in both knees and his hip.
She needed shoulder arthroscopy with slap and posterior labral repair.
Simultaneous bilateral total knee replacements.
6 months of recovery, and Lauren's back, happy as ever.
3 months after his final surgery, Craig sent us pictures of him skiing the Rocky Mountains. And that's what makes our job here at OSS Health so fulfilling.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Back at Memorial Park, John H. Frederick Field. Eli Ryder connects with Noah Apple for the second time tonight, and the Cats lead by 32 with 34.2 seconds remaining as the wind blows north to south across John H. Frederick Field. These leaves are rather aggressive right now as Babiak's kick goes into the end zone for his second touchback of the night. These leaves are hard, they're crispy, and they're coming in hot.
Well, I'll tell you what, certainly a little wind-aided there for Babiak, but boy, has he had a nice season he's put together. Wasn't necessarily the designated starting kicker right from the start of the season, and yet he's become darn near automatic on the extra points. I know, we've talked a little bit about the kick coverage, but he has shown the ability to have the leg. And so that's something, again, every aspect of the game will get magnified. As we sit here 35-3, really seems to be we're going to be playing now into the district semifinals, which really puts us in I think a round of 16 in the state probably. And so every aspect of the game gets magnified at that level.
Josh Meyer under center. And a flag. It's going to be delay of game for Cocalico. So some very untimely penalties for the Eagles today. At one point, they had a possession where it was, 1st and 33, and it's just hard to come back from those kinds of things.
Well, and it's not a situation, not that they've run the table and been 10-0, right? They're 8-3. They went 5-1 in their division. They lost a couple, lost 2 non-conference games, one of those to New Oxford, who you've mentioned. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think the other one probably would have been Exeter, if I'm not mistaken, or Conestoga Valley, one of those two. And, they've just not been in this situation in terms of deficits.
The pitch to Epinette, and he is run out of bounds at about the 23-yard line, so he gets the penalty yardage back +3. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 7. And Dave, I got to take an opportunity to thank the Harvey family. They bailed us out. By us, I mean me, 2 weeks ago. If you were watching against Shippensburg, you followed along the saga of my car and my flat tire, and they dispatched a tow truck from C&H Towing and Recovery to Shippensburg to take my car to Mavis Tire, and I got the car back at like 9:30 Saturday morning. So many people. It was comical. So many people over the last 2 weeks. Did you get your car back? Yes, I did, and I thank C&H Recovery for making that happen.
Good Mechanicsburg family. Been know a number of the Harveys over the years. So, good people, and it's nice to see good people come through and help out the community that way.
Meyer on the quarterback keeper. Willie Marshall Travis, I think, learning this time from what happened previously, a little more pursuit to wrap and make the tackle instead of reaching out and grabbing and risking a potential horse collar another time.
Well, that's it. Sometimes when you're playing, and, last year, let's not kid ourselves, Willie's really learning to play the game of football at a higher level, and we were a 500 team last year, even though we finished on a high note. And so every play feels magnified, like we got to make a play now or else. That's not the case with this team. We have room to not make a tackle in the backfield every play because we make a lot of tackles in the backfield and we make a lot of tackles at the line of scrimmage. So that allows you to play within yourself.
We're going to take a break, come back in about 30 seconds to start the fourth quarter. It's Mechanicsburg and Cocalico. Tonight's game presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Back at Memorial Park, John H. Frederick Field, Mike Garland, Dave Harris, we're hanging out in a cozy Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth, now with heat. And we thank Athletic Director Seth Pahanik and District Administration for green-lighting that project. Even though we have the window open and most of it is going right out the window, it's going through our backs to go out the window. And a flag on 3rd down and 2. Check that. a timeout called by Cocalico. Coming out of the quarter, they had personnel issues and had to burn a timeout.
Yeah, it's 35-3, 12 minutes to go. I'm not sure what their thought is here. It's obviously stay competitive, make plays, make it respectable. Maybe a few things could go our way, and who knows. But it starts with this possession, and so obviously you hate to use that timeout there, but you probably need to, right? You can't afford to start behind the sticks again on this drive. Or get further. It's third down and reasonable. You can't get behind this situation.
It's going to be 3rd down and 2, and a big sports weekend for the Wildcat fans. Of course, the football game tonight, field hockey in the state quarterfinals tomorrow, taking on Conestoga out of District 1, the Philadelphia region, and a win on Saturday for field hockey will put them into the state semifinals on Tuesday. It's not all that long ago that Coach Brown took her young ladies to Cumberland Valley to win a state championship, and they are in the neighborhood of returning to Chapman Field. So that's tomorrow, 5 o'clock at Exeter. Ben Shad will have the call. A couple of guys in motion there, but no flag as Epinette goes around the far side, tries to turn the corner. He does pick up the first down. I saw your physical reaction. There were 2 men in motion at that snap.
Yeah, it looked like the right guard and right tackle, or the right tackle and right end, really left before the whole right side of the ball left before the ball was snapped, as they were actually backside blocking, trying to get down to the second level. But nobody seemed to notice it out on the field. Just you and me, Mike.
Bishop McDevitt leading Conrad Weiser 42-0. So safe to say the Crusaders will be moving on. First down and 10 for the Eagles. And Josh Meyer with the carry.
That's the reward for getting the first down there, Mike.
Getting popped. Running hard, but getting popped.
That's it. I think that was my big question coming in tonight, was not the Mechanicsburg offense. Not that I thought they'd put up 35, and I sure as heck, if you'd have told me Noah Apple was going to score 2 touchdowns, not that I didn't think he could, but I probably wouldn't hedge too much of a bet on that. I was curious, though, what could the defense do? And the defense has done nothing but been lights out.
2nd down and 12 for Cocalico. Horning takes the handoff, and he is met near the line of scrimmage by Jimmy Dwyer and Justin Bardo in the area as well.
Yeah, Dane Horning's he's impressive. Nice low center of gravity. He gets that ball. He gets in there. He's got some quick feet, and he runs hard. He's only been able to get to the second level maybe once, maybe twice tonight, but you can clearly see why they build their offense around him. Fortunately, the Cats have played tough there with Colin Stair pretty much in the A gap, going right at the center and just blowing things up in the middle.
3rd down and 8. Ringney in motion. Meyer passing. Near side, and Cody Harvey intercepts it.
What an interception.
One-handed. Wow. Take a look at that one more time.
Great coverage, and gets his eyes on the football. That's why you got to get your eyes turned around. It's not just so you avoid the interferences, because that's how you get interceptions. And you can see that at the highest level of football in the NFL. Guys don't get their heads around. You get your head around, you make great plays.
There's a lot of Penn State fans watching this broadcast, and I immediately thought back to the end of the first half last week when Penn State threw that pass into the corner and the Ohio State defender picked it off. A great defensive play. Thwarted some Penn State points
this
then.
was a better play. That thing just stuck in his gut, and he did what he needed to do. Credit to him. I'm not calling that a great play. He just did what he needed to do. Harvey right here. Cody Harvey.
He made a play.
That was a great play.
He made a great play. So the Cats send the offense back out on the field with 10:22 remaining in the 4th quarter. There's a lot of things I'd like to forget about that game last week. 1st down and 10. Dom Baker in the backfield. Baker takes the handoff. Baker cuts in at about the 43-yard line.
Good to see Baker back in there. I don't know that. Well, he certainly hasn't toted the ball since the injury earlier, and I'm not sure we've even seen him back in there. So, good sign to see him in there. They're going to need him certainly next week and as the playoffs continue.
2nd down and 7. A lot of those same Penn State fans are likely going back to Happy Valley tomorrow night for the whiteout game. Make sure you subscribe to Peacock if you want to watch or find a free subscription somewhere.
Big whiteout. Should be a good night here. Good night there. I mean, but right after this night, it's a good football weekend. Cats are taking care of business, and let's hope whoever your teams are, let's hope that they take care of business similarly the rest of the weekend.
Dom Baker takes the pitch. Baker met near the line of scrimmage by Jerry McCardle, and Jerry McCardle was trying for the belly-to-back suplex. There's a flag on the play. I think for the sake of Dom Baker, other defenders being there helped him from being lifted off his feet and slammed to the ground.
Yeah, I'm not sure what all went on there, where this flag's coming from. I don't know if there was a face mask or if they're going to call some kind of personal foul. I didn't really see it. Yeah. Yeah.
And the violation against Rylan Jenkins. And kudos to referee Steve Kellier. We provide a field microphone to these officials at every home game, and not every week is it used. He has used it and used it well tonight.
Yeah, sometimes you can barely hear him or it echoes somehow, whatever it is. He knows what he's doing. And you know what? It's second round of playoffs. It's a 7-man crew, not a 5-man crew, and it's good officials. It really is. I mean, we have not bellyached too much about calls tonight.
We haven't said
I think they've let things go that they should have let go, and I think they've called things they should have called. It's been a nicely called game to this point.
Yeah, we may have just said a half a thing. Dom Baker takes the handoff, pop near the line of scrimmage. Dane Horning makes contact, but a gain of 3 for the Wildcats. And now it's just about running clock. More points would be nice, but you want that next 8 minutes and 49 seconds to evaporate rather quickly.
Yeah, you do at this point, right? You don't want to show too much else on film. You're not going to pull out too many other wrinkles. You don't want to get hurt. And yet, again, we've seen it all year long. This is a playoff game. There's no reason to pull the starters at this point. They may choose to pull the starters, but you don't blame either team for not pulling the starters. It's a playoff football game. So, yeah, if you're the Cats, I'm not saying they're not going to throw the ball, but you're exactly right, Mike. You don't want to show too much. You want to stay healthy, and you want the game to get over. But you can't just will away 8 minutes either.
Second down and 7. Ryder. Pass to Josh Smith, and he is taken down at the 36-yard line. So get him maybe 2 or 3.
Well, and that's a safe one there. You know Josh is going to catch it, so that keeps your clock running, and you also know he has a chance to break it. So no harm in that play call.
Third down and 6 for the Cats as the play comes in from the sideline. 24 seconds on the play clock. Looking in at the Exeter-New Oxford game, it's 14-14. Exeter with possession. The ball at about the New Oxford 2 or 3, trying to take the lead. Keep an eye on that. 3rd and 6. Ryder. Noah Apple, far side. He catches it inside the 5. First down and goal, Wildcats.
I'll tell you what, he's having a career game tonight. He had a great catch over at Northern, of course, at a time when they really needed it on the far sideline and advanced the drive. But, boy, tonight, 2 touchdowns, and he's going up and getting them, too. So there's a mismatch there, clearly, that the coaching staff thought they had coming in. They've set up for it. It's played out that way, and they've exploited it.
Noah Apple in the running for our 11 Oaks Farm player of the game with his performance tonight. Pair of touchdowns, a great catch. 7:07 remaining in this ball game. Dom Baker in the backfield. Ryder in the gun, the handoff to Dom Baker. A fumble, Ryder picks it up, and a loss on the play. A heady play by Eli Ryder to recover. Dane Horning on the tackle, and Horning is slow to get up and in some discomfort as he gets a pat on the back from Thomas Tottoli.
Yeah, that's one where I just want Eli to fall on that one, right? Don't try to pick up and make something magical happen. The last thing we need is him getting dinged up a little bit or taking extra hits, certainly. And yet, at the end of the day, he's a competitor. He's a grinder. He makes it happen. He's made so much happen out of broken plays. He's obviously had snaps rolled to him. He's dropped snaps. So he's used to going down and getting it, bringing it up, and trying to make something happen.
2nd and goal from the 9. 6:20 remaining in the ball game. The Cats with 4 wide receivers. Ryder, DeLuca, down to the 2.
I'll tell you what, that is a great high school football play. I mean, what you really have there is a nice route on the outside. He just keeps coming down the line. So many high school receivers just kind of break it off and sit. Jack DeLuca attacks the football, comes along. Certainly well covered, but he gets a nice catch, catches with his hands, and gets some good forward progress. And you got a 3rd and goal, and they got a chance to punch this thing in from the 2.5-yard line.
and Ryder threw that ball to a point, and Jack DeLuca went to that point. He didn't throw it to the man.
Yeah, no, he led him into it, and Jack went there. You're exactly right. Credit to both of them. I was giving a lot of credit to Jack DeLuca for coming and getting the ball, but Eli was leading him away from the defender.
Isaac Dolman sidecar right to Eli Ryder. 3 wide receivers to the left. The pitch to Isaac Dolman, and Dolman is going to be thwarted by his own man inadvertently. Patrick Crone was there to make a block, but instead it was more of a screen, and Dolman had to bounce outside and ends up getting tackled near the line of scrimmage. So 4th and 2, and I think the offense is going to stay, because if you don't get the 6 points, then Exeter's got a really long way to go to try to do something.
Cocalico.
Yes, them.
And I was thinking that, if you lost some yardage, it might not be a bad time to go out there and try and get a field goal, because you're going to need field goals in the playoffs eventually,
practice.
right? And you got a little bit of wind. But the reality is they got inside the 2-yard line. Isaac almost punched that thing in, so now you come back and you try to get it.
Eli Ryder stumbling into the end zone. Touchdown, the Wildcats. Eli Ryder from 2 yards out, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the night.
Wow, Mike. I tell you what, didn't see, sag around the playoffs, seeing a 5-score, really a 5.5 score, 6-score lead. Didn't see that. Didn't know enough about Cocalico. Again, I know what I looked at did not concern me if we played our game, but I can't say I saw this.
And we head to mercy rule timing following this extra point, as well as Nathan Babiak comes on to the field to try to notch point number 42. The extra point kick is up, and it is good. 4:38 remaining in the ball game. It's Mechanicsburg 42, Cocalico 3. We're going to take a break. Come back after this on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Elevate your everyday with the Mechanicsburg Area Recreation Department. Immerse yourself in a world of excitement and discovery. From adrenaline-pumping sports to serene outdoor escapes, we've got your perfect recreation blend. Join us for fitness, family fun, and fantastic experiences. Unleash your inner adventurer. It's time for a thrilling escape. Visit mbgsd.org and click on the Recreation tab, or drop by our office at the Trails and Trees Environmental Center. Mechanicsburg Area Recreation, where every moment is a new adventure.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Welcome back to Memorial Park, John H. Frederick Field. Mike Garland, Dave Harris, and you. Thanks for tuning in, whoever you are, wherever you are. Our public address announcer, Ryan Hartman, showed us a text message earlier. His barber is watching from Indonesia. And I'd like to believe that his barber is on vacation and not that Ryan goes to Indonesia regularly for haircuts. But we have an international reach tonight, Dave.
Yeah, we've got an alum of class of 74 who's actually here tonight, but he listened to us in France earlier this season when he was overseas. And, yeah, I've heard from out of state a couple of times here tonight from folks who are listening to us. And it's also great to walk through the crowd here at halftime and see so many alumni here from over the years as well.
Babiak's kick fielded by Dane Bullinger near the goal line. He wasn't able to catch it in the air, and it bounced to about the 2. And he is tackled by Leo Fasci.
And that's what's so great about interscholastic athletics, Mike, whether it's our field hockey team or whether it's our soccer team or whether it's our football team or whether it's basketball in the winter or softball in the spring. It brings a community together. That's something you don't get. And I think we talk a lot about youth sports. We talk about feeder programs. That's where these kids come from. They're so vital. But at the end of the day, it is about getting to this level and being here with your community, being here for your community, not necessarily for yourself always. It's about being part of something bigger. And it's so great for these kids to be able to share in that tonight.
Meyer remains at quarterback, 2 seconds on the play clock, and they're not going to get the playoff. Well, the officials do let it go. They always say at the pro level that when the clock hits 0, the officials still look up, look down, do something. So no flag on that one, and a gain of 6 for Cocalico.
Well, and the Cats have now substituted in because, of course, we're inside the 5-minute mark and we're in the mercy rule situation, so we've pretty much got a second D in there. I think we're still seeing largely the first O for Cocalico, which, unlike during the regular season in some situations I felt otherwise, they got a lot of seniors who've had storied careers, right? I believe back-to-back district championships, Mike, if I'm not mistaken, for Cocalico.
Yes.
This is a tough night for them, and so they're going to try to go out on a high note somehow, even if it's against the 2s. Different story than what I've kind of lamented about with some other teams throughout the season.
And the ball on the carpet as Horning drops it but picks it up on the bounce. And he's very close to the first down. Needed 5, gained 4. And I think right now it's a fair opportunity to say the Cats are going to win this one, and the Bishop McDevitt Crusaders are coming to town next week.
Yeah, it's been a while since we played them. They were in the Keystone for a few years. I think back, about 10 years ago or more, actually. Coach Rubinek, I remember down here taking the McDevitt pressure, if I'm not mistaken, when he was playing quarterback for us back in the early part of the 2010s. It's a big matchup, and I tell you what, I think we have some of the firepower that we need, but it is going to be a game different than what we've seen the previous 11 games, previous 11 game weeks we've seen this season.
Meyer on the quarterback keeper.
But the nice thing is, these guys have a desire to play. I think it's back at Chapman Field in a state championship game. That's a couple weeks away. Every team you're going to play from here on out is going to be
a good team. And
you got to start by taking out the first one. So might as well start next week.
And it's crazy to think that Bishop McDevitt is that 6th seed, but they have 2 losses. They lost to Harrisburg. They lost to State College in an offensive showdown. A substitution for the Cats as Gavin Russell comes in. He had a carry from scrimmage during the final home game against Hershey. Espinette goes in motion. And that first down carry goes next to nowhere as Russell was in on the tackle, 1:47 remaining.
Well, they also played, I don't know if it was a South College High School out of Philadelphia. I don't think it was St. Joe's Prep. I thought they lost another one early. I know they don't have one non-PIAA game as well. So they play a different kind of schedule, right? They are obviously playing the Commonwealth, and then they're playing some other high-level non-conference teams. Now, the Cats playing in the Keystone, we only had one non-conference game. So that was Carlisle, but the other 9 were put on our schedule for us, and that's who we played. So there's no doubt they've played some competition. We know they have some talent drawn from a non-border territory kind of arrangement, but I got to believe this is a special group of young men and a special group of coaches down here, and I think they'll be up to the test, and we'll see what they give us.
J.J. Gould with the tackle, and I've said it before, even broadcasting games where Bishop McDevitt was involved. If you're Bishop McDevitt, you're playing a school who can only field a roster from the boundary of their school district. Meanwhile, you can field a roster, an all-star roster, if you will, from kids that are, qualified, paying the tuition, etc. So, but the thing is, Bishop McDevitt is mortal. They are the 6th seed for a reason. They've lost a couple of games, and it'll be exciting to see how this matchup plays out next week as Quinton Chow makes the tackle for the Wildcats. I don't think the Wildcats have seen a quarterback like they've seen in Stone Saunders, or like they will see in Stone Saunders
and it's going to be such a contrast, right? I mean, that's obviously going to be a balanced offense. They're going to run some spread. We know that, Coach Mike Berry's over there now, and he played there, was influenced by that style of football, came here and coached well. So I think we know what we're going to see. We know they have some talent. But this is a team that did not want to put the ball in the air versus we're going to see a team next week that loves to put the ball in the air.
Well, this is going to be the final play of the game as Espinette is going to be popped on the sideline by Quinton Chow, and the Wildcats are moving on. 42-3 victors over the Cocalico Eagles to improve to 11-0, win their 14th game in a row, and advance in the District 3 playoffs. What a night.
What a night it was. I'll tell you what, and there's a case where that's a good team, right? They've won 8 games. They've won a playoff game. There they are. They're 1s against the 2s, and they've been hit pretty hard by our 1s all night. Our 2s said, nah, you're not scoring on us, and we had side-to-side speed again and got after them. So credit to those kids. Keep this thing at 42-3. I don't know, Mike. What a night. What a win for the Cats.
Crazy as well, and kudos to the Cocalico Eagles coming here, putting up a fight. Cocalico has now lost 4 games this year, all to undefeated teams. So Cocalico falls to 8-4. The Wildcats improve to 11-0. We want to thank our broadcast crew, which includes Nick Pahanik managing the score interface. We have Ben Shad on camera. Dave Harris, of course, color commentary. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to highlight our 11 Oaks Farms player of the game back in a few moments on GoMechanicsburg.com.
Inventory levels are back at the Bobby Rahal Auto Group, where honesty, selection, and great prices meet. We never priced vehicles over MSRP and never will. Come visit us today and drive away with your dream car at a great value. Bobby Rahal Automotive Group, your trusted destination for the best vehicles and exceptional service. Online at bobbyrayhall.com.
The Turnbridge Group at RBC Wealth Management are proud supporters of Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. When you're faced with tough business, personal, and financial decisions, turn to the Turnbridge Group. They specialize in retirement planning and complex financial situations as their team helps you define and attain your goals, all while building a strong and caring relationship with you. Advisors Tim Engel, Jonathan Stow, and Nick Hansen are available for your call today. The Turnbridge Group, part of the community and for the community. Visit them online at turnbridgegroup.com or call 717-724-4225.
I needed a change in my life. I wanted to be closer to my grandchildren. I was not hearing what the kids were saying. I fly hot air balloons and I couldn't hear leaks. It was time to take care of my hearing. As soon as I met Mary Ann at Renewed Hearing Solutions, she made me feel so comfortable. My life has improved so much since I got hearing aids. It was the best thing I've ever done. I would highly recommend Renewed Hearing Solutions.
Get back in the conversation. Call Renewed Hearing Solutions today.
I needed a change in my life. I wanted to be closer to my grandchildren. I was not hearing what the kids were saying. I fly hot air balloons and I couldn't hear leaks. It was time to take care of my hearing. As soon as I met Mary Ann at Renewed Hearing Solutions, she made me feel so comfortable. My life has improved so much since I got hearing aids. It was the best thing I've ever done. I would highly recommend Renewed Hearing Solutions.
Get back in the conversation. Call Renewed Hearing Solutions today.
Snappers Bar and Grill at 120 East Allen Street in Mechanicsburg is proud to support Wildcat Athletics. Snappers is open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. and offers outstanding service and exceptional food and drink options, all at a fair price. Stop in for fresh seafood, delicious hand-cut steaks, and homemade pasta dishes. Snappers also offers a variety of sandwiches, fresh, crisp salads, and awesome appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or have your next big gathering catered. Snappers Bar and Grill. Call 717-697-9475 to learn more.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Seth Gardner for your personal price plan today.
This is you. And this is us. Hi, we're TruGreen. We're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. That means we'll give you a pro-level lawn guaranteed. That's a satisfaction guarantee. That's a price match guarantee. That's a guarantee on top of your guarantee. So you can do less of this and more of this.
Walters & Galloway Attorneys at Law is your hometown law firm and devotes a significant part of their practice to estate planning, estate administration, elder law, real estate law, family law, and more. Let their expert team help you sell, purchase, or refinance your home too. Their team can work to prepare your will, trust, power of attorney, or aid in the estate care of a loved one. With 2 convenient Mechanicsburg office locations, you can learn more and make an appointment today by visiting them online at waltersgalloway.com or call 717-697-4700.
I'm liking what I'm seeing out here, guys. Speed and precision. This is the type of hustle I'm looking for. That championship level effort. This is where all of our training pays off.
You know, most homeowners just check in on us now and then.
Every West Shore home installer is a highly trained employee that can stand up to scrutiny from anyone.
Let's go do this!
The Wildcat Foundation is Mechanicsburg Area School District's education foundation. Established in 1998, the foundation raises and distributes funds that support students in education, wellness, cultural awareness, and athletics. The Wildcat Foundation has also awarded hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships to support students' higher education. Learn more and donate today at wildcatfoundation.org. Wolf Brewing Company in Mechanicsburg, established in 2021 as a family and pet-friendly social experience, offers food and drink options for the community from the community. Family owned by Wildcat graduates, Wolf Brewing Company is just off South Market Street in the all-new Legacy Park. Stop in before, during, or after the game for food crafted from the freshest local ingredients, plus many award-winning drinks made on site. Wolf Brewing Company, 100 Legacy Park Drive, Suite 400, online at wolfbrewingco.com or call 717-590-7917.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville and GoMechanicsburg.com.
Welcome back to Memorial Park, John H. Frederick Field on a blustery November Friday night. Mike Garland, Dave Harris were hanging out in the Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. Tonight's game presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. And you can see it right there. The Wildcats victorious 42-3. A total team effort tonight. You had touchdown runs by Eli Ryder. You had touchdown passes by Eli Ryder. You had touchdown catches by Noah Apple. You had a touchdown run by Isaac Dolman. But what you really had was a true defensive team effort holding this Cocalico offense, which was averaging over 300 yards per game, to just 3 points and next to nothing from an offensive total standpoint.
Yeah, Coach Eckert had designed up a pretty solid scheme. He tried to stay balanced, I think, on both sides of the ball defensively to take away any pre-snap read. And then, obviously, they were true to their keys. They knew what their keys were. They stayed to their keys. They played aggressive football inside out, filling those run alleys. And, of course, the side-to-side speed's been there all season long for the Cats defense. And Cocalico, other than sneaking a few through there, really didn't do a whole lot. Their one score, Mike, the 3 points, came after a turnover on the plus side of the field, and they really only advanced it, I think, about 25 yards before they settled for the field goal attempt.
And you can see those Cocalico Eagles still on the field. For some of those young men, this is the final time they'll ever put a football uniform on, so you savor those moments. You know, our games are presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville, and every week since week one, we've highlighted an 11 Oaks Farms player of the game. And I'm watching on the near sideline Noah Apple walking by saying hi to friends and family, and he's in the running. But I think we go back to that total defensive team effort, and tonight we recognize the Wildcat defense as our player of the game.
Absolutely, Mike. I think second round of playoffs, and you hold someone to 3 points, and it's not rainy, it's not sloppy, it wasn't a turnover-laden game. It just was good, hard-nosed football from start to finish, kind of a slobber knocker, as they call them. The Cats got after them. They held the fullback in check. They got the quarterback. They strung it out. They were there for the counter crisscross. They were there for the reverses. There just was nothing they weren't ready for, and they executed beautifully.
So the Bishop McDevitt Crusaders come to town next. I'm not sure if their game is a final, though it was 40-6 at one point in the fourth quarter, so mercy rule timing in play there. We're keeping an eye on Exeter versus New Oxford, and Exeter is leading the New Oxford Colonials 21-14 with 2.5 remaining. Shippensburg was down by a bunch as well to Conestoga Valley, so not to assume anything about the other half of that bracket, but it looks like Conestoga Valley is going to advance, and Exeter may very well advance as well if they can manage to just run the next 2 minutes and 30 seconds off the clock. But what we know about next week's opponent is you cannot take Bishop McDevitt lightly, even as a number 6 seed.
No, you never take them lightly. But I think more importantly, and I believe you said this somewhere earlier this evening, Mike, I don't know if it was on air or off air, they shouldn't be over-respected either. They need to be respected, but put them in their place, give them their due, and then go out and play our kind of football. And things happen. You know, things happen if we do what we do, when we take care of business. You're correct. They're no ordinary number 6 seed.
They are beatable, though. They have at least 2 recognized losses, and you can bet that Coach Eckert is going to watch that game film against Altoona. He's going to watch that game film against Harrisburg, and then he's going to watch some of the other games for McDevitt victories this year. We know that Stone Saunders is an SEC-caliber quarterback. He's going to play in Kentucky, and even if you're not starting in the SEC, if you're on an SEC football roster, you're pretty talented, and he's just one of many weapons that Bishop McDevitt will bring to Mechanicsburg next week. But for tonight, It's a Wildcat victory. Enjoy it. Again, it's the 11th time this year the Cats have gone 1-0 during the week, and in order to go 12-0, you got to win next week.
Yeah, it's been a great night, Mike. The season continues. We get to come back here. It's been a long time since we've had November football here. Years ago, you had November football because it's when the regular season went no matter what. Now we get 2 weeks in a row of November football at Memorial Park Stadium, John A. Treader Field.
The McDevitt's game is a final 42-7 as they top previously unbeaten Conrad Weiser. So the Wildcats and the Crusaders are ink. Tickets will be on sale, I suspect, come Monday. Remember, you have to buy them online and in advance. No sales at the gate, no cash accepted, digital commerce only. So make sure you pick up your tickets online. Keep an eye on @GoMechanicsburg on X, formerly Twitter. One last thing. Ben Shad has field hockey tomorrow, 5 o'clock at Exeter. The Wildcat ladies taking on Conestoga, coming out of the Philadelphia area. So if you're headed to Penn State, make sure you take something with you where you can stream the field hockey game at 5 o'clock right here on youtube.com/@GoMechanicsburg. For Nick Pahanic on the score interface, Ben Shad working the camera, Dave Harris with his expert color commentary week in and week out. I am Mike Garland. Thanks for tuning in, fans. The final, it's Mechanicsburg 42. Cocalico 3.
This has been a presentation of Mechanicsburg High School Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com. Wildcat Athletics is presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville, Bobby Ray Hall Automotive Group, your neighborhood Chick-fil-A at Shepherdstown Crossing, Grocery Outlet Bargain Market, Lawnscapes Inc., Mechanicsburg Area Recreation, Members First Federal Credit Union, Operation Wildcat, OSS Health, now with 2 locations on the West Shore, RBC Wealth Management and the Turnbridge Group, Renewed Hearing Solutions, Sheets, Snappers Bar and Grill, Seth Gardner State Farm, Walters and Galloway Attorneys at Law, West Shore Home, the Wildcat Foundation, Wolf Brewing Company, and your Harrisburg True Green Lawn Care. Additional thanks to the Mechanicsburg Area School District and to all the friends, family, and community members who tune in to watch the games. The Mechanicsburg Wildcats. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on GoMechanicsburg.com and on YouTube @GoMechanicsburg. We'll see you again next time.